Hello.
Sometimes when I'm stressed about the technology that gets us on the internet, I gotta go into a little accent to keep me feeling cozy and comfortable.
It's
But then,
classic maneuver.
but then when we are here with you, my anxiety subsides and I can go back to my original mellifluous Canadian tones. Welcome to Lies You'll Enjoy. This is a little corner of the internet where we tell you lies. Creative ones, interesting ones, new ones every week. Last week we pretended that we worshipped a god of death and that it died, and then we pretended to be three people each, which is really quite an accomplished lie to pretend to be multiple people at the same time. Um, and I got a secret to tell you. We're just going to keep lying in the same way. One of those special weeks where we tell the same lies 2 weeks in a row. Uh, hey, Otto. Welcome on in. Thanks for joining us. Topic Sorcery. Hello, hello. Kurt, Amanda, before we really get started, how you guys doing? How was your week?
Pretty good.
Anything cool happen?
I went outside.
You went outside.
You know what? That actually is a cool thing because it's been Canada out there. And then this
It
week
has
it was a little warmer than Canada
A
out
little
there.
less Canada.
A
It
little
was
less
kind of
Canada.
like almost okay. You know what I mean?
I was
I could wear a
almost
light
okay.
jacket some days, and some days you kind of couldn't, but I did it anyways. I'm so committed to spring. So yeah, it was good though. It was a good week for me going outside. What about you, Kurt? What did you do? Anything exciting?
Yeah, my bathroom flooded from above in a mysterious
Woo!
downfall. And now you might be thinking, Kurt, I feel like maybe you've mentioned you're in a high rise. That's true, which means there's all kinds of mysteries there.
Yes.
Not good mysteries.
No, one couldn't call them good mysteries. Amanda, speaking of bad mysteries,
Uh-oh.
you
Amanda's on
got
a
kind of
very
a drawing your
stern
guns at
with
high
us.
noon
My froze.
posture. Yeah, I'm afraid you're
Because you guys are
froze.
frozen for me, but I'm not frozen for me.
Oh.
So
Hmm,
Oh.
that can't be better.
Oh,
Some
now
would
you're
call
just
it.
very small.
Oh, well, that's fine.
Oh, and now, we
hello,
switched
I'm back
places.
again. I don't know why, but it's like I'm just trying to open internet windows so I can see chat, but my computer is getting really mad at me for doing that. I'm gonna try one more time, but if it crashes, then I won't try to do it again. So if you guys are chatting and I don't respond, that is why. I'm having a bit of a difficulty with everything. I don't know what's happening, but I think it's internet combined with my computer deciding to slightly explode a little bit. So yeah,
We've all been there.
yeah, some people were there earlier today when I was having problems with the Twitch knock, which is when you have a guest join you. And then I was using our camera feeds, but it was freezing.
Oh, oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
I can't even like load the player, but I can see the chat, so that's all that matters. I can see the chat.
You can
We
see the
just want to
chat.
see you, comma, chat.
I just want to see you chat, and I can. Yay.
Yay!
Well, that's a cute song. I like this song.
So I can see you guys. So yeah, hi Otto, hi Rapala, hi Cherry, hi Atomic Sorcery. I hope everyone's having a good. I hope everyone else also had a good week. How was your guys' week? Hopefully it was
Well,
all right.
Kurt had water fall on his head in a mysterious indoor rain.
I'm fair enough, fair enough. But you know, outside of that, it wasn't so bad. I played Metroid Prime. I don't know if you folks ever played that back in the day. They made a remaster on the Switch recently, and it
I've
was fun.
actually never played Metroid Prime, but I did see the Prime 4. Is that the other one that's
Yeah, you're
out?
kind of about the new hotness, eh? You're like right on those big releases.
Well, I mean, I never played Metroid, but I do want to play Metroid because I feel like the fact that we had like a surprise the protagonist is a lady twist in classic Metroid, I think is such a cool twist, you know?
Was it a
And
surprise? I don't know any of the history. I just, played
Yeah.
Super Smash Bros.
You
yeah.
actually had to like win the game. And then you see like the like I'm
Helmet
standing
mod.
on my ship and have my helmet type of thing.
Because
Whoa.
Shamus, is that her name?
You're so close, but way too Irish.
Samus.
Samus, yeah.
Shamus.
Samus. Samus is just in like a suit the whole time, so it's like you don't really know like who's in the suit.
Who knows what's under there?
We don't know. And then when it was revealed, a lot of people were like, "Oh my gosh, it's a lady," because there were never any ladies, so it was very surprising for people. And I just think that's so cool that it was a game that was like, yeah, whatever, our protagonist will be a lady, and then guess what? We're gonna surprise you with it too. So you're gonna play the whole time, you're gonna become a huge fan, and then we'll be like, guess what? It's a lady. And you'll be like, wow.
Gotcha.
Still a fan. Still a fan. And everyone that I talked to that's played Metroid really loves it. So I've never played any, but I saw the new one and I thought that looks pretty cool. Because the only thing is it's a side scroller, right?
No.
No?
Neither of the ones that we're talking about. Most of the rest of them are, but specifically, I know this is what everyone came here for. Specifically, the non-Prime Metroid games, all of those are side scrollers, with certain exceptions in the DS era, for example. But if one's speaking of Metroid Prime through Metroid Prime 4, those are first-person shooter equivalents. Although one could argue they share more with adventure games than first-person shooters, in spite of having format analogs.
So that all sounds like it would be right up my alley, because that was the thing. I always thought that they were side scrollers. And then when I saw the new, and obviously I know the newest one, I was like, well, I'm assuming that we're not like, they probably are doing some other stuff with it at this point. Although people still make side scrollers today and they're still very good. So it's not to diss side scrollers, but
my partner calls them Kurt games.
What?
Side scrollers? Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely feel like you have side scroller vibes. Do you?
Interesting.
You definitely feel like a side scroller player.
Fascinating. What could it mean? What could it mean?
Just that you're into like retro games and stuff. Sideways.
Yeah,
I only ever see Kurt in a profile.
Yeah. Except for right now, but this is
actually, I should tell you, today, Anthony's, you may notice, folks, that there's a thumbnail on YouTube for these things. I make them, and that means I go snip, 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 snip around the bodies of my friends because they do a little pose and I cut out their backgrounds. But today, Anthony did a kind of fun, like off to the side looking pose. And so I had this moment that I've never had to do before, which is cutting carefully around Anthony's lips. And I thought, this is oddly sensual compared to the normal like shoulders and elbows that I'm used to.
I do like how in our thumbnail, we're all kind of like looking off, like we don't really know what's going on. Like
we're having a tough time, I think. That's how I was imagining. Things are tricky.
That's what I was trying to also channel. I think we were all trying to channel that same energy. So it matches up really well. I love how when you cut us together, it kind of looks like, it kind of looks like we could all be standing with each other, but we're not at all.
That takes a lot of work.
Just all stand with each other?
Yes. Well, yeah, because I've recently learned how to make us so we don't look like we're in 3 different rooms. And I'm going to continue working on that.
You're doing pretty good.
See.
You're doing pretty good. I think this one, it looks like we're all in one room together in the moment, which we were very much not. Can confirm. Just kidding. All of these sets connect, and it's all one big room, actually.
That's true. Yeah, this is actually our combined apartment that we all live in. They know about the bathroom thing.
Yeah, and the babies. We have all of our computers.
That was from a little while ago. That was from a couple weeks ago.
Like, call back. We have all of our computers in like a triangle, so it's like this is what's behind me, but then that's what's behind Anthony over there, and then that's what's behind Kurt over there.
I can like reach out and touch them. Like that's the thing is that we can't agree on what lighting we want, so that's why we have to all be in different frames, because we each have 3 really different ideas about lighting. I'm changing my mind about lighting. There you go.
Oh, you're gonna change it right now?
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Should we also say who we are and introduce this lovely game that we're going to be resuming today?
I think we should.
I can start. My name's Anthony. When I'm not playing tabletop role-playing games on the internet, I am writing books for kids and sometimes talking about why parts of Canada are happy on the radio. That's what I did today. If you want to tune into CBC Radio Montreal, noon today, you can get the recording. I was telling people about why Quebec is so happy. Spoilers, it's because their youth are not sad. which the rest
Oh,
of
that's
Canada
nice.
is
Not doing as good with that, I
nope, not
guess.
doing so good. Yeah. But that's everything you need to know about me. Love playing games and love telling stories, and we are going to do that today. Hi, Joker. Um, but there's two other people we want to find out who they are. Kurt, who are you? What are you bringing to the table today?
Hello, my name is Kurt. I'm a role-playing game designer and player, and I also have a day job, but I'm not going to talk about that here. I'm just not.
It's a secret. He is a CSIS agent.
The sneaky part about my day job is that there's like, okay, people who talk about their day job and also have a government job with the government of Canada have to have like on all of their like social media everywhere, like, this is what I think, and not bother Prime Minister. Like you got to have like an elaborate series of disclaimers. So I've gone the other route of simply making this my main thing, and then my day job is something that I do that just happens over there.
A very
Fair.
convincing story. CSIS agent.
Sure, sure.
Yes,
Sure.
thank you for respecting my CSIS hood. Anyway, those were words. I'm here today to play a game with my friends. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Amanda, who are you?
Hi, I'm Amanda. Some people know me as a Vampex 13. I know me as the person whose camera does not want to focus on her today and is instead focusing very intently on the background, which I will say I respect because I have cool things in my background.
Yeah.
I'm mostly a nerd on the internet that talks about comics, but also sometimes movies as well, and many other things, video games. I'm a YouTuber, a streamer, an actor, a cosplayer, in no particular order of things. I do all of those things at once. And yeah, I also like playing RPG games, which is why I'm here today to continue this one. Joker, you have asked, when do I know what's going on? Never is the answer. From day to day, from moment to moment, it's changing so much, just like the world is changing around us at all times. And you yourself are changing within it.
Wow. Insightful.
And we're all on that journey. So, still trying to figure it out. But
Hell yeah.
I know what I'm doing in this moment, and that's playing Lordsworn with my friends. So that's what we're gonna be doing today.
Speaking of which, for those of you who may be joining us for the first time, Anthony is going to do a recap of what happened last time. Why is Anthony going to do that? Because I'm
two.
quietly making adjustments to a spreadsheet so that I don't have to do math later.
We also added this cool command. Anthony, do you mind if I put it in the chat?
Yeah, do it.
Look at this. Recap, so that if you come in and it's a later part, you can get an update on what's been going on and what the heck this thing is.
What the heck?
What the heck?
What the heck this thing?
But sometimes you don't have to use the command. I can also do it just like Nightbot. We'll see if I can do it just as good. We are playing a game called Lordsworn. The premise is that we are followers of a great god or goddess who has marched into battle, and yet we have watched our god fall in battle, having to stand there and watch, the divine entity that you've given your life to die in front of you. And the premise of the game is what happens to those lowly peons, those people, those forgettables in the background of the battle scene. What happens to them after the god has fallen? They're going to try to make their way home. Will they make it? Will they go insane? Will they lose their faith? Will they die on the road?
They lose their lives.
That's what we're going to find out.
With so much relish, Amanda. Will they lose their lives?
We know what Amanda's cheering for.
Lose their lives. Lose their lives.
Well, that's one of the options we might see today.
It might happen.
We started playing last week, so we've already sort of built some of the world and filled out the story a little bit. So I'm going to try to give you as much as we can about the background here. So our god is named Lotyx. Lotyx is the god of nature, of harmony, but also of death and the underworld. And it is Lotyx's purview to maintain the balance between the living and the dead on the plane and also in the underworld. And Lotyx sent out a call to his followers to say, there is an imbalance, a great imbalance. There are too many souls that are not in the underworld, and we must equalize. And so the followers of Lotyx went to war to reap the souls of this plane. Of course, the other gods and their followers were not keen on this plan. If you're not obsessed with the balance of the underworld, this might not seem like a very important thing to do. And so there was a great battle, and unfortunately, the worst has happened. We have watched Lotyx fall. We've also watched our brave commander, who might come up in this game, Dimitry the Magnificent, who is very eloquent, very elegant, poised.
Long live her name!
Long live her name. We've also watched her fall. So we are both without God and without leader.
Rough.
Other things that you should know, we are journeying back to a place called Omewood, which is sort of like a like forest settlement that is surrounded by this like beautiful salt flats with sort of a thin layer of water mirror-like on it. And when you stare into the surface of it, you okay, Amanda? You good?
Mm-hmm.
She's thinking something. Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Can she? Okay. Bye.
No
Very mysterious.
idea. It must have been a costume idea, right?
It must be a costume idea.
If it's not, I don't know what's going on, folks.
Food is there as a good guess, Otto. That's what I would have guessed. But she's back. She does not have a costume. She doesn't have food. Hi, Amanda. She has dice. She has cards and dice.
I just realized that I put this all in my tin for this time, and then I was like, "Oh, I forgot my supply." As soon as I opened everything, I was like, "Oh yeah, do we need to roll? We do need to roll stuff for this." So then I just, sorry, didn't mean to be so mysterious.
Okay.
It was pretty mysterious. You had a whole gasp and everything, like you were about to disclose who inherited something. That's not how that works, Kurt.
No one inherited anything. Sorry.
But you inherited a great idea of where you kept your cards and your dice. And
I literally put them away last time and I was like, don't forget they're here, because if you go get your deck of cards, you pulled out cards now, so it'll be incomplete.
Atomic Sorcery, I love it. Back on track. Atomic Sorcery writes, Omewood, short for Omenwood, purple and salt, where the bones are buried in the trees. That is a perfect description. Yes, indeed, the salt flats with their thin layer of water, where if you stare into its reflection, they say you can see your soul staring back. And in the upper boughs of the woods, we have treetop mausoleums, a grand graveyard where we keep the bodies of the dead for their souls to pass on to Lotyx. But will we ever see that home again? We're not sure. Purple and silver are our colors, and our company's motto is refined by purpose. That is Lotyx's purpose for us, to restore balance. The other
proud mission.
Was that?
A proud mission.
A proud mission indeed. Each of us has 3 Lordsworn that we're going to play. I want to recap them just a little bit because it might be confusing that we each have 3 characters and keep switching in and out of them, especially if you weren't here with us last week.
Now, I don't want to catch you unawares here, Anthony,
yes.
But Anthony, who has screen sharing permissions,
yes.
Atomic Sorcery has posted fan art of, I think,
Most
7
of
the 9 Lordsworns in Amanda's Discord server.
Whoa.
Which is what we would call kind of amazing, actually.
That's awesome. I am not prepared to share those, and then I don't have them pulled up, and I don't have them set up to go on stream. But I could do that in a second if we wanted to. I mean, that sounds amazing.
Sure. No hurry. I just thought I did ask in advance if
I could also just pull them up if you give me permission to share my screen.
Right? Sure. I mean, it's gonna be a bit weird though, because then it
won't just be where you are.
Your
right? That's not
slot,
how the
or it's
video program.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're saying it'll be better if you just pull up Discord and then just share it on your screen.
That's what I'm thinking.
Okay. All right. Cool,
Yeah.
cool. I just wanted to say if you needed assistance.
I appreciate that.
I got
Amanda's
you.
here for you.
Awkwardly, Discord has to update.
Not
a real gamer.
Not a real gamer. This actually happens every time I use this computer as well, because I just don't do it except on Mondays. This is my Monday streaming computer.
And it's because it's like a sweet souped up rig, right? With like, it's got crazy graphics card and an amazing.
Now, I should really keep writing my spreadsheet, but instead I'll tell you the truth, which is no. It's because years ago now, I guess, my partner and I were like, you remember family computers? Those would just sit out in like a landing and then everyone would use it. And that was the computer. And then we were like, wait, why do we both have mediocre laptops when we could have one decent laptop and one pretty nice actually computer? Why are we doing this thing where like, so then got a nice desktop computer and a decent laptop. And so desktop lives out in family area that any human could be inside, or cat even too. So I'm cloistered in small room, which is where the laptop liveth today.
I see.
And now everyone has the deep lore. You're so welcome.
Atomic Sorcery, that's so cool that you've been drawing these characters. They're so neat.
They look so good. I've been following along with the ones you've been sharing, Atomic Sorcery, and they're so good. And no need to apologize to me for not getting to my other two. The fact that you make art of our stuff is just so cool, just in general. So thank you for making art. It's always so exciting.
Did we even like talk enough about each one of them for there to be a description for each? I guess we created them all.
We did. We went through and created. Also, did you see that? Didn't someone add time codes to our last one? Or Atomic Sorcery, was that you that shared time codes in the chat?
I think they were description time codes of the characters for the purpose of illustration of art.
I was like, we should add those to the stream, actually. Thank you for sharing those time codes. I was like, we should add those to the YouTube video description. That's the other thing the video descriptions are really good for. That's where you put your time codes on YouTube, so people can jump through the video. Unless you have it set up so that YouTube does auto time codes, but those are never as good as if you do them yourself.
You heard it here first, folks.
Some hot tips.
Yeah, that's where the time codes live. Like, if you guys have ever seen time codes on my videos, I make all of those usually. I'm the time code person. Sometimes Duck does them, but not usually. He likes it better when I do the time codes. And I like doing them. It just takes a while because you have to go through the entire video and decide, how do I want to split this up for people to jump around?
Okay, we're getting close here, folks. Just 1 second.
Nice.
Do you
want me to talk more about time codes?
I love it when you talk about time codes.
I really want to go through and do them for all my live videos too, for my VODs on YouTube, but it's very time consuming when I do it for streams because they're multiple hours long. Even when I just do basic ones of like me playing, me chatting, me going to the bathroom, like be right back. So like I'm not here on camera, so you can skip this part. It takes a while. Are the pics in the Discord? Yeah, they are. They should be in the stream team channel, I think.
Well, that's annoying.
I think they're in stream team or creators corner. But I think it's stream team.
What did you do that's annoying, Anthony?
Yeah, stream team channel.
Discord and Streamlabs are not playing nicely, which isn't interesting to anybody, but is unfortunate for me.
Understood. I'm sorry for your troubles.
Oh, thank you, Atomic Sorcery. That's such a lovely comment. No, your talent is definitely there, my friend.
Yeah, I just got a sneak peek. I hadn't seen them before, but they look very cool.
Aren't they cool? Man, and you said you're just starting out. Like, I can't wait to see. Like, I always love, actually, with artists, too, like, watching the evolution of someone's art It's so cool. It's crazy that I'm friends with a lot of people that ended up like being visual artists, and I love I love having known them for like a few years or in some cases like decades. It's like watching someone's evolution. Oh, it's sick.
It is sick. It's cool as
Mhm.
hell. Art's
Okay.
cool as hell. I'm just gonna
Art
say
is
it.
cool as
Shall
hell.
we take a look, guys? I've got them ready to go.
Show the
Yeah.
people.
All right. Let's take a look. Oh, that did not work at all. Oh God, what's happening? That's
I won't glance
embarrassing.
upon what you've
Let's
projected out to
take
the
a
world.
look. Wait, let's not.
What is? Oh no. Okay, wait just a minute.
Let's
And let's take a look. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Amanda, do you want to tell us about your engineer character while we have them pulled up here? This is so
Yes.
cool.
So my engineer, he's kind of, or they are kind of a crazy, crazy guy. Also, I gotta say, I really like this art because it also is kind of evocative of the art that we have on our sheet. It's like reminding me a bit of that.
Oh, interesting.
Um, which I guess I kind of described my character in a similar way to the picture.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it's a Wait Martell, and Wait Martell is a tinkerer who basically was all about like improving stuff and saw that the god that Lotyx was kind of a means to that end. Um, feeling that they have always been kind of outside, they saw an opportunity to use their sort of engineering skills to help this god and sort of linked up with them. And when the god fell, it was like not just a loss of Lotex, it was also a loss of like everything that they thought that they had been building into. Um, not really able to tell like what's real and what's not real at this point because they've kind of lost all sense of meaning in their life. Like if a god can be destroyed, like what's kind of the point of anything that we create?
That's cool.
So they have a child, we believe, because they do have a small clockwork bird that is a gift from their child. And they wear goggles and kind of future forward stuff that makes them look a little kooky.
Just a little bit kooky.
Oh yeah, and they also have the multi-level self-reloading crossbow. So
uh,
let's wait.
Kurt, can we distract you from your spreadsheet for a second to tell us about Erwin?
Yes, for sure. I'm definitely not currently pushing buttons.
No.
No, I would never be writing a spreadsheet while people are describing their character. That's just, I don't know if you knew this. That's just not something that I would do.
Rude, frankly.
Yeah. Anybody who does that,
I gotta say,
wow.
Atomic Sorcery, this is so cool. I'm trying to figure out on which axis everything is. I guess you've like, I love the playing card aesthetic. Like it looks like tarot or like face cards. So neat. And I was trying to figure out what axis everything was symmetric on. Especially the last one was like very cool, very like king in the deck, and had like multiple axes of symmetry. It was very neat.
Okay. Now that I've not finished doing what I wasn't doing, um, Arian we say, yes?
Yeah,
That's who we want.
yeah.
Arian the Bright is an avatar of the god, slowly turning to stone, slowly turning to marble, alabaster moving across their skin. Arian descent, as it were, came about as a result of the god's death, which has not been great. Has been a challenging situation, a rediscovering of mortality that was once there, who knows how long ago, a mortal once. Now it doesn't feel right. It's like coming down from a high. You've been there. You won't forget that you were. Um, yeah, carries a strange stone in their pocket that feels like home from before. That's the one thing. Memories are gone, but there's that stone there. Oh, and I carried the bow who killed a moon. Yep,
Yep. And that
sure do.
featured in the image. It was very cool.
Hell yeah.
Okay, Kurt, you're up next. Again, we're gonna
Okay.
do The Spellblade.
Great.
Sirocco?
Sirocco,
Sirocco?
I think I would say it.
Okay.
Sirocco, Wandering Spellblade. So this is a kind of what it sounds like. Spellblade has magic, a Spellblade has swordplay. And that's led Sirocco to sort of offer services to whoever would need it. And eventually march behind a god that Sirocco worshipped. Swept up in an adventure, but Sirocco hasn't come out on top, as none of us have. I do love Sirocco's aesthetic, gilded mask, floral features, long flowing hair. I suppose you folks are seeing that at home, if it's still being shared. Has a favor from a sweetheart awaiting me at home. It's a religious symbol for safe travels, and carries a rapier and a silver casting staff, which I said looks kind of like a flute, which is funny because one of Amanda's characters actually does carry a flute. So
we could see that flute, and it looks so good. Atomic Sorcery. Okay, I'm up next. Wait, let me just double check. It's been a little while. Okay. Yes. Wait, which one is this supposed to be? Sorry. This is my... Oh, the Creed Guard. Yes, okay, perfect. Okay. Take a look here at Valkyr, the Creed Guard. The Creed Guards are the guards of the god themselves. The most elite of their warriors, and as the, I spent much time with Lotyx, both in preparation for the battle and on the battlefield. And in the preparation for the battle, I heard Lotyx's hesitations, a concern that perhaps things were not going to go the way that he thought. And then out on the battlefield, I saw it come true. And how can I not blame myself, watching the god that I was sworn to protect fall in front of me? And I carry that guilt heavily on my shoulders. That is Valkyr. Okay, Emmy Forefinger. Wait, who's that? I forget.
That's me.
That's you. Your turn.
Emmy Forefinger is a bandit turned Lordsworn. So named because, sometimes as a bandit, you aren't necessarily going to keep everything you got about you. Emmy Forefinger was sort of under the tutelage, under the wing of one of our other Lordsworns. Anybody remember who that was? Was it Aerie, perhaps? Our medic? No. One of you was another figure.
No, the bandit figure that Amanda is playing.
Oh, I think it was the Bold Scald. I think
the Bold Scald, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So last time Emmy got caught up in a bit of an altercation with a priest and was seriously wounded, like 2 pretty serious wounds. Emmy's limping along now.
Looking rough.
Yeah, looking rough. Always looked a little rough with a hodgepodge of armor scavenged from battles. Carries a long bow and a long knife and a single coin clutched tightly. The first earned honestly, but Emmy's not doing so hot anymore. Fight or flight instincts.
Yeah.
Didn't serve her well.
That was exciting. Not good for her.
Not good for her.
Not good for her, but exciting. Okay, I'm up next with Aerie, the medic. So Aerie is one of the healers who takes their job seriously in the sort of service of Lotyx. Aerie's job when you're not in battle is to protect the living as long as they are meant to be here, and then see those who are on the path to death off peacefully into the great beyond. But she was scarred by the horrors of war. She went along because it was her duty, but she's not meant for battle. and has not seen it before. And she is struck by, one, the impossibility of a god as powerful as Lotyx falling. What does that mean for her faith? And two, feels a sense of responsibility for not having found a way to bring healing to Lotyx when he most needed it.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah.
And then we have... wait. Who is this? It says prophet. What does that mean?
It says prophet.
Not the prophet. Is that me? Yes, it's a prophet of the outer gods. I got it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it's you.
Okay.
Draw K?
Yes, Draw K.
Draw K.
Forgot about that.
All right. Welcome to Draw K, prophet of the outer gods. Thrall has always heard the whispers, not just of Lotyx, but of other voices, dark and rasping, reaching from the depths. Thrall has made his peace walking alongside Lotyx because he was never sure of those other voices. And Lotyx, at least, a god of death, a god of the beyond, seemed like a good fit for Thrall Quay, and his aversion to some of the more high and mighty gods. But as the calamity happened, and all the gods, including Lotyx, fell, the whispers of these other entities, these other divine, perhaps, creatures, has grown to a shout in Thrall Quay's ears. And he's stuck with a double sense of unsuredness. On the one hand, the mysterious voices tell him that Lotyx and the other gods were not what they seemed. Lotyx, perhaps, a demon, here to misguide them, here to bring calamity. But then there's a sneaking suspicion in his heart. For what if they're lying? And it is them, the whispers, that are the demons. Who's to say? The vulture wings look really cool, Atomic Sorcery. I think that's really neat. All of these are gorgeous. Have we seen all the ones that exist? Did I miss any? I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think that's it.
Okay, so that just leaves 2 more Amanda characters, right?
Yes. So
do you want to quickly give us those?
We have Bry Fistbjorn, who is a warrior, but also is a poet, a bard, if you will, likes to go out and sing their songs, make their epics. And so that has been part of the reason why that they linked up with the god, was that they saw it as an opportunity to sort of make their great work and make a name for themselves. However, the god fell, and having been to war, Bry is now faced with deciding whether or not he wants to write an epic or thinks war is the worst thing ever and wants to just kind of call it like he sees it. So he has a first draft that he carries. He has a myriad of scars that tell their own stories and a tattoo containing the words of the first song. And he comes armed with a sword, a buckler, and of course, a wooden flute.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm. And then my other character is Delilah of Dahlia, who we have not met yet. She, her pronouns. She is basically someone that is like such a true believer. Fervent follower is the type of character that she is. And she has like given everything up to be with this god. It's implied that she may have come from nobility and gave up basically all her titles, all her claims to join in this divine war. However, things did not necessarily go as planned. And I don't think that Delilah knows how she even survived that, because she wanted to run in and basically die with her god, but somehow survived all of that and now has no heading at all. And what was the point of believing in something if it doesn't exist? What does that mean? And what does the ideals that god stand for, what does that mean now that they're no longer here? So yeah,
Nice.
she has some nice robes.
She has
She
some nice
has
robes.
she's wearing some nice robes. She's a hand carved pendant shaped in my god symbol that was given to her by a fellow follower and lover. And she has her blessed flail as her weapon.
Cool.
Mhm.
Hell yeah.
Those are 9 Lordsworn, and the only last thing that you need to know is that we've already played the first week out of 4. Is that correct, Kurt? Are there 4 weeks to our walk home?
Yeah, there's 4 weeks total.
Okay, so we've already played our first week, and in our first week we had 2 encounters. First, the Avatar, the Healer, and the Engineer tried to find a place to stay, tried to find lodgings at a nearby inn. But people are getting suspicious. Everyone's trying to prepare for the end times. What we haven't mentioned is that the spirits seem to be without rest now that their patron is gone, and they seem to wander the world now. So people can tell that things are not going. It's time to batter down the hatches. So we found our way to this inn, and we asked for lodging, but in exchange, we offered to help them fix up their place. And our engineer was doing work when he badly injured himself.
His head.
I don't remember his head. That's right.
His head.
And now he has
And
a black weeping
struggling-
wound.
Black weeping wound that won't close.
Black
And
whoopee wound.
Black whoopee
Whoopee
wound.
wound.
And seems to be struggling with memories. That's what's happening.
Yeah,
to
memories can't be held
engineer,
on to.
They have a wound on their head that's bleeding and not doing so good with the memories.
Right. And then in our second event, we ran into a cleric of another god, of the seer god, along the road, and they were perhaps rightfully angry at the followers of Lotyx, the god who started this conflict, blaming us for the lives that were lost. And there was some negotiations, some yelling back and forth. Who was it who got injured? I forget her name. Kurt.
Emmy?
Emmy.
Emmy got stabbed in the battle. Bry was involved. Drogquay sort of seemed to turn coat and join the other side, agreeing that it was in fact Lotyx who was at fault here. But luckily nobody caught most of Drogquay's more egregious statements or the fact that he didn't help when Emmy was attacked. And the caravan continues on. And that's where we are. Week 2. Here we go.
Week 2.
Are you ready, Kurt? Is your spreadsheet beautiful and ready for us to see it?
Yeah, I mean, we're just gonna keep going on the first one for the moment, and then I'll probably bump us over in a second. I don't even want you to see how many if chains there are in my formula bar right now. It's actually embarrassing. This is not how you're supposed to do it. So if I look like I have 1,000-yard stare, it's actually 1,000 if stare, dear audience. Dear chat, excuse me. It's 2025. I don't address the audience. I address the chat.
Come on.
Address the chat.
Dear chat.
Dear chat masala.
I never know how to say. The other day I was trying to tell people about something that I was talking to chat about. And I was like, yeah, so at work, like I was having this conversation. Because I was like, it feels weird when I say like, yeah, so my chat was saying. It's like, what do you mean your chat? What? What?
Do we not all have a chat?
Yeah, well, because I feel like otherwise it'll always come up that I'm a streamer, and I don't like to lead with that. So I was literally talking about it as though, like, basically, chat, you're all my coworkers now, is basically what it sounds like whenever I tell stories. If I don't talk to people that know I'm like a streamer, I'm just like, oh yeah, at work we were talking about this, and so and so said this, and then I said this. Mm-hmm.
I love that. I was having a conversation at work. That is so good.
I mean, it's true. Employee of the month, says Rapala. Yes, Rapala, you can have employee of the month. I'll give it to you. I mean, I'm not the boss. I just also work here.
Okay, Kurt. Do we just click on week 2 now under the drop-down menu?
I think that's probably for the best for the time being. Yeah.
Okay. So review of how this goes. For each event, there's like an entity that we're going to encounter, an adjective we're going to give that entity, and an action that they are going to be doing. We're each going to roll one 4-sided die, and then we are going to assign that to either an entity, an adjective, or an action, which will give us the choices that we have to choose from. So I'm going to go search up 3D4, which is the best way that you can roll 3 dice on the internet. You got your dice there, Amanda?
I got my dice.
All right, let's roll. Ready? 3.
How many did we roll? 3?
Just one right now for setting this up. 3, 2, 1, roll.
I was about to say I got a 7. It's a 1.
More dice don't count.
What are you rolling? A D20? No.
Floor dice don't count? Is that what you just said, Amanda? Yeah. Oh, I see. Understood.
Wait, you rolled a 7?
I rolled a 1.
Oh, you thought it was a 7. Oh,
I got it confused.
Okay. I was trying to figure out what dice you could have rolled that you were then dividing by 4.
The 1 does sometimes look like a 7, so I'll give you that one.
Okay.
That's my bad human eyeballs is the problem.
I see.
This is why Kurt doesn't like D4s.
Yeah, I'm just not literate is the problem.
Yeah. I'm just not literate.
I'm going to say that we've encountered a fort. The entity is a fort.
A fort, he says, a fort. Are we on week 2?
Yeah, we on week 2.
Okay. Why does it say week 1?
Oh, if you click on week 1 in the little drop-down menu, you can select week 2. I don't know.
Are you looking at Journey and Epilogue? No. We're looking at Journey and Epilogue deprecated, which I thought would be true by the time we started.
No. That's fine. Okay, cool. I was like, why don't I see anything?
Kurt, you did so good. You really did. We really managed to spend 2 hours before you needed to have the spreadsheet ready from when we got online. You almost got it.
I was so close, but it's fine.
You're doing great. You build entire spreadsheets. You need not apologize.
Okay.
I think the fort. So this is odd. I think the fort's traveling.
Whoa. Okay, this just got way cooler.
A traveling fort.
Yeah, interesting.
That is.
What kind of adjective it got?
I'm gonna say surviving.
Ooh. Okay.
Which sounds weird, doesn't it?
Guys, read that book?
I think there's different interpretation. What were you gonna say?
I was just thinking about the book that I can't remember the name of about all the cities in Europe that are like rolling across the continent. They've all like been turned into like automata, and then they're all like rolling and trying to eat each other, and London keeps eating towns. You know that book?
No.
All right, cool.
Sounds cool though.
I mean, it sounds like an interesting story. I'd love to read that book. Is this real? Did this really happen?
London did not eat other towns, but there is a real book.
Well, I didn't know you meant like literally eat towns. I thought you meant like metaphorically.
No, like literally, like it's a cool like robot creature that eats towns.
Wow. Yeah, okay. Sweet. Well, sounds pretty sweet.
Okay, but sorry, somebody had a proposal for what this meant.
For what this meant.
A traveling fort that is surviving. One of you have
I
an
was
idea?
thinking maybe it's maybe there's not a physical fort here, but it's sort of everyone who was manning a fort is now sort of marching back, and I think they're carrying all the goods and supplies that you would have at a fort, as well as things.
I feel like they're carrying parts of the fort, so that like if they come across enemy bands, they can literally like put it up. And so when we say the fort is traveling,
So do we think maybe it's
parts of it
not made
are.
of stone? It's made of some kind
Yeah.
of more portable material,
Wooden sort
canvas,
of
and
ramparts and things.
yeah, because that would
Yeah,
be carryable.
I think maybe that. I mean, maybe there is like some stone elements that they carry, but I think, yeah, mostly it's wood because otherwise that would be really heavy.
Okay. Okay, I like that. Um, and so they're traveling like back from the front, maybe trying to like get out of harm's way. Is that the idea?
I think they're trying to like move to a new place, but they're trying to decide where to go,
Okay.
like resettling, basically.
Okay. All right. Um, well, we have three characters, one each that we are playing in this particular encounter, and this is predetermined for us because we've already played the other two each that we've played before. So by default, we must play the third. We must be fair. That's the first rule of Lordsworn. So Amanda's playing her fervent follower.
Mm-hmm.
I am playing the Creed Guard, and Kurt is playing the Wandering Spellblade.
That I am.
And so then we'd get all our cards back, and the next time we would shuffle and just draw.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So Delilah, the Fervent Follower, Sirocco, the Wandering Spellblade. Okay. And Valikara, Corvus, Creed Guard. Does anybody want to start by narrating how this scene opens as we encounter this sort of caravan, this traveling wagons with their ramparts on the road?
Yes, I'll do it.
Right.
Sick.
I think there's like a winding band of people marching around, like I think we're like in a hilly area. And so these hills that are jutting up, and they're just like winding through the hills on this road. And as we approach in the distance, because they're coming towards us, we're coming towards them, we're like crossing paths, we can see and we can look at them like a little snake moving along. And they're all carrying different colors of cloth. I'm imagining them as like being very like colorfully clothed, or like they're carrying like elements of the ramparts that were, I don't know, like maybe banners and things that were hanging. So it's just like this rainbow ribbon of like kind of sad, worn looking people carrying bits of wood and supplies, just loaded up to the nth degree. We don't know how long they've been walking, but as we get closer, we can see sort of the glazed look in their eyes. And if you look closely, probably notice that their shoes are looking like they've been walking for quite a while.
Huh.
And it's questionable how much these people have slept.
Up on the ridge where we're watching from, Valakar, the Creed Guard, turns to Delilah. The world is now in such flux. Entire towns, forts, traveling the countryside now. I suppose the world will never return to normal.
I don't think that there can be any normal after Lotyx is gone. I thought I was just figuring out what normal was.
It's all changed. Is there anywhere safe for them even to go? Is any part of this world spared from the nightmare?
Well, some say that if you head south, that there is a god that is bringing people in.
Really?
Yes, that's what I've heard.
What
But
god?
how could
Not
the
that I'm
god?
thinking of joining her.
No,
what god?
well, the god of Hearth.
Huh.
And it said that they're bringing people together and creating a home for them. But at the same time, I mean, I've also heard other rumors that those people are being fed to the fires, and that this god has become greedy in a world with less and only seeks to burn more.
You hear a grumbling, I think, from behind you, and Sirocco says, "Speak not of other gods. It's not our place. It's not the time. Our god is gone. Their gods don't matter."
But do you not think, even for a second, Sirocco, that you'd be safer under the watchful eyes of another?
You don't understand. Perhaps you weren't a true believer, as I was. I saw the god, and I saw beauty struck down like a common weed. There are no other gods. There are other gods, but not for me.
How dare you? I fought along Lotyx's side. I watched as he struggled to sleep before the battle. I am committed to Lotyx. I gave Lotyx everything. But Lotyx, you must understand, is gone. Gone, gone. So gone that your faith means nothing now. Your faith is to nothing. All that's left for you, all that's left for all of us is survival. And perhaps that must happen under another's hand.
And this is survival, this procession, this parade.
At least they're doing something.
And maybe on that note, we find out what that something is.
We're just going to roll in blind. I don't even know what our goals are here. We're just...
That's fair. Do we want to talk about that at all? Because we don't actually know what we want, per se.
Should we push it a little bit further and just find out what each of the characters wants before we roll?
Yeah, I can see an element.
Maybe? I don't know.
Where that's useful, yeah.
Like just out of character, not in scene? Just kind of talking about...
We can just progress the scene a little bit further, maybe. We can skip forward even. I think it's cool, the little discussion. But perhaps we like actually encounter the procession.
Right.
Perhaps we should ask them where they're going. We will hardly make it on this road. We've already seen it's dangerous. I don't know if Emmy will make it. They seem well equipped. Should we join them?
I've spoken my piece.
I'm not suggesting another god, Sirocco. I'm just suggesting prudence. Perhaps a fort. Defenders. We are a ragged crew.
Perhaps there is wisdom in that.
What about you? Delilah?
I don't know. I feel as though it's hard to tell what to do when there's no one there to lead you.
We are lost.
What do you think Lotyx would say at a time like this?
Valkyrie looks over at Sirocco, gauging.
You may speak. I am no arbiter of the words of our god.
I'm sorry, Delilah. But it doesn't matter. It's a question that doesn't make sense. Lotyx is dead. And a god is made of memories, of concept, of belief. When they die, there's nothing worth remembering.
I still think that there must be something we can take from this. If there's nothing, what was the point of any of it? Why did we even fight? Perhaps Lotyx would encourage us to show them the way.
You want to convert them to a dead god's way?
No, just to a place of comfort, to a place of well-being. Wasn't that what the whole point of what we were doing was? To bring people closer to Lotyx so that they would find rest? Perhaps that is what we can do here. Perhaps there is something we can offer them.
Do you want to kill them?
No. No. Well, no, that's not what I'm
Kill them
saying.
to where? Where would they go?
Just set to wander like they do alive, I suppose. That's all we have waiting for us.
I still think there is something we could perhaps offer them in this moment. Not necessarily saying death. Lotyx is no longer here. Death serves no purpose anymore.
I think Sirocco pulls out that favor from the sweetheart back home and sort of passes it over in a hand. We won't show the audience what it is yet, but there's text engraved on it, and it says "Safe Travels." It's a religious symbol. Tucks it away and says, "All we can hope for is passage, and that's all we can give. Perhaps there is one way. Perhaps we shall navigate together. We shall see. Keep not your hopes up.
We approach.
It's a strange world now.
We discuss. Perhaps we offer them something. Perhaps they show us the way. Perhaps we join them. Let's see what they say.
Perhaps.
Let's roll some dice, guys.
I'm guys.
Let's do it.
Okay. The way this part of the game works is that each of us roll 3 dice. And then we are going to assign one of each of those dice to one of the 3 of us. And then after that,
hey,
we will decide what those dice mean. So we give the dice to each
roll
other.
a 1.
High dice are good, mean you succeed, you stay safe. Low dice are bad. Okay. I have dispensed my dice.
So have I.
Amanda. Ooh, she's making her decisions. Cherry in chat, just sending love your way. Sorry you're not feeling great.
Rest up, Cherry.
Okay, we have all placed our dice and the decisions have been revealed. I'll show all y'all.
How
you
went?
can see. Okay, nice. Okay, so Amanda's character gets a beautiful 3, 4, and 3. Very nice. I get a 1, 3, and 4. Valkyr has 1 failure, which I gave them. And then our Wandering Spellblade, Sirocco, has a 2, a 4, and a 3, which isn't bad. Now we get to decide how we want to allocate those to success or failure, wounds, and morale. And Kurt, we have to choose one of each, right? Like one of our dice has to be a success or failure, one has to be a wound, one has to be morale. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's your dice specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Okay. I mean, I think our successes and failures kind of like inform each other a little bit because like we all have something slightly different that we'd like for this like caravan to like symbolize to be for us. So I'm curious to like. Okay, so Delilah is getting success, which means that she's like offering something, kind of maybe giving guidance in some way to this group of people, and that's successful.
I think that maybe I'm gonna interpret it where kind of how we left the scene, like this idea of I think what Kurt offered with Sirocco was the idea of like all we can really offer them is like passage because we don't really like have anything. But I think that is something that Dahlia's going to or Delilah's going to take on and offer as well. Because I feel like now in Delilah's mind, if we can offer passage and they can offer passage, then it's like we can kind of, as we're moving against each other, because I imagine their party is quite long, then it's like a shelter for as long as we're passing them. We can
So,
maybe come to a kind of peaceful thing where we can help each other while we are still in passing.
so by passage, we just mean I'm just letting you go freely and we're watching each other's back.
Yeah, like neither of us are going to attack the other person.
Okay. Okay.
You know? I feel like when you meet up with people in a world like this, it's like who's going to try to kill the other person? Because we were all just in a war, we were probably on different sides. I mean, we did just run into that cleric, and that's basically what the cleric wanted to do, right?
Yeah, okay, okay. So I'm thinking maybe then like there's like I don't know what you're thinking for Sirocco, Kurt, but it feels like maybe they are peaceful, this wandering band, but they don't want to have anything to do with us, you know?
I think that makes a lot of sense based on how we've acted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You mean like in the war?
Yes, yeah,
Right.
because we were, I think it would be fair to say we were the bad guys.
We are the bad guys.
We were definitely the aggressors in the war. But, you know, I think it's also that we don't necessarily see it that way. Some
Sure,
of us.
in the eyes of us, yeah, totally fair.
So do you want to take a success, Kurt? I'll take my 1 as a failure, and then I'll do a 3 for morale, which means no impact on morale, and a 4 for wounds, which means no wounds. And so really what's happened is that, Valkyr has tried to, offer his blade to this wandering crew. Maybe they, will take him on. And they're like, absolutely not. We want nothing to do with you. Move on by. Please don't touch us.
So you were maybe trying to go with them then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was trying.
Towards, I wonder where they're going. Are they going towards the hearth? What do we think?
Should we have a discussion with them? Should we play
maybe
that?
We should.
Who's talking? Is Valkyr talking? Do one of you want to be the?
I mean, Kurt still has to place.
Kurt has not placed his dice.
Oh, that's true. I didn't. I got so like into the resolution that I didn't actually click the buttons.
It's okay.
I feel like I come out
Once
of
you
this.
have that, then we can play through like how this all happened.
Yeah, totally fair. I'm gonna say no wounds.
Yeah.
Do we have? Okay, we got 1 failure. I think I'm gonna call this a success. Not like that. I'm not. I get a little bit hurt in this process. Ooh. And I think
that's interesting. I don't know how that works yet.
I have.
So you get a little bit hurt in this process.
Wait, no, you're getting morale.
Or are you gonna? Or is our morale going down? So our morale is going up and going down. So it would just be a 0.
Yeah, I think that's what we'll do after all. I was flip flopping between them.
I think that makes the most sense based on how we set it up because it kind of sounds like we're a little bit divided. Like the reason I gave a +1 to morale is because I think for Delilah, this is a moment where, after she makes this offering and it's kind of like accepted by the other group, it's like a belief that like there could still be something to have at least learned.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me. For your character, I totally get that. And I think
she's clinging, guys. She's clinging on to whatever she can, I think.
But like, you're totally right that the mix of motivations here means that I think it makes the most sense to have like morale up a little and down a little.
And then go down a little, yeah. Because I think, I can see where your characters are more struggling to see the purpose of things, which, yeah, fair.
Okay, nice. Should we play this little finale a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to maybe describe how the initial encounter works? Like, I don't know if we need to like strike up anybody for the other side.
Yeah, maybe not. I think Valkyr with now with an idea in mind that perhaps this is the way out, is the first to walk across to bridge the gap, is the envoy. And perhaps from where you stand, you can just watch the conversation in muffled tones. A series of well-armed, large shielded warriors at the front of the caravan are standing there, shields out, swords out. A regent-looking fellow behind the wall of shields is discussing things with Valkyr, and Valkyr seems to be getting more and more desperate. He falls to his knees, wringing his hands, and they're disgusted. And the wagons start up again, and they walk past.
Oof.
As the wagons pass you, the driver of the first wagon says, "Move on. We don't want your type. We don't want to even touch you. They say a plague rests on your backs. We won't be trouble. Let's go on." And the caravan passes silently.
I think we see a little moment of Sirocco's playing like a sort of mournful song on the flute, feeling pensive, passing time. It's a fidget of sorts. And when we did that in our own company in moments of difficulty, it was a warming gesture and something that I think brought us together. But you can see from like the onlooking group that they think I'm mocking them. And I think there's almost conflict at one point, and he has to put his flute away, and it just doesn't feel right. Nothing about this feels right. We're displaced.
I think
so it doesn't
Valkyr
feel good for him.
No. Valkyr comes back to the group and just shaking his head. Not only has Lotyx abandoned us, but he has left us, marked by him and his wrongdoings. We are cursed in this world now. This is hell. We are to live it. And
I think.
Yeah.
Oh, what? Oh,
I was
okay.
going to wrap it up, but go ahead.
Okay, sure. No, it's fine.
You sure?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Okay, yeah. So I think that's maybe our first event in week 2, and we should switch on to our next characters.
Okay, cool.
Or event 2.
Event 2.
Okay, so we need to randomly choose a character.
Sure do.
I will be playing Ari Blackwell, my scarred medic.
Got a 6 of hearts, which means the person we are seeing again is Emmy. Emmy having a tough time. Emmy.
I got Jack of Spades, which is Waite Mertel. So we're seeing my eccentric engineer again. They will be back.
Okay, nice. Ari and Waite have appeared together before, but now we're bringing in Emmy. I guess this is nice. Emmy,
it's kind of a good crew, I think.
Very wounded, is with the medic.
Oh, that makes sense, yeah.
Okay. And now we find out what event 2 is. This event is called Desperate. And we're about to find out what our entity, adjective, and action are. Everybody roll 1 4-sided die.
I got a 4.
Save it for later. I also got a 4.
I got a 3.
Nice.
Oh.
I'm going to say nihilistic.
Ooh.
I think these are ruins.
Okay.
That's fine.
Some nihilistic ruins.
Some nihilistic ruins. And the action is blocking our way. What if? Well, I'm distracted thinking that we've already come this way. I'm assuming, or something like this passage on our way to the battlefield. Um, uh, but somehow this pathway back is blocked by these ruins. What if they're new ruins? What if something about the calamity has turned what was once like a city, a friendly city, into some sort of horrific, scarred feature of the landscape, perhaps haunted, perhaps full of scavengers and difficult to pass.
Cool. Yeah, I'm down. I'm into it.
Any reason why the calamity has, I don't know, directly affected the city? Is it like a holy city for one of the gods, or
I wonder if a god corpse lays over this place.
crazy? I like that.
Not ours.
No,
Not all gods leave corpses, I think, either.
that
Some
makes
do and
sense.
some don't. Um,
I like that.
we
That
see
makes it good
metal
nihilistic.
jutting like rib cage. Uh, if you didn't know, you wouldn't know,
Do we
but we
think
do.
people are still like here?
I think only those who couldn't afford to leave, maybe. What does that mean, though? I'm not sure.
I think maybe they've just kind of accepted that this is how it is and that it doesn't really matter. Because it's like, I think it might be maybe less people that couldn't afford to go and more people that are just more complacent. And that's the nihilism of the place. It's more the idea of like everyone that was like, oh, we better get out of here because like it's dangerous. And these people were like, it literally like nothing has changed. Like the gods have fallen, some of them are still around. Like if you go somewhere else, like you'll probably just die anyways.
Okay, so that's the nature of the people who are left.
Yeah, I think these are just people that are like kind of like it doesn't really matter, so you may as well just like be in a place that you've known.
Right.
We'd rather stay where we are than go somewhere because it's not necessarily going to change anything. And they liked where they were. So I think they're just still kind of clinging to this idea of like the past, but actually acknowledging almost that like everything has changed. Like they're aware of it, but they're just like don't really care about it.
Okay. Cool. Um, I'm struck by the fact that our two most wounded characters are here with the medic, which is like perfect setup.
Yeah.
Um,
Although I also realized last time when we played, I didn't give anybody their wounds, but I believe did Bry got like a little wound, and then the eccentric engineer got a wound that was pretty bad. And that was it,
yes.
But it
right?
was only one wound, yeah.
Yeah, I think Bry just got knocked out. A little concussed.
Yeah, it wasn't
maybe.
serious.
Yeah, but it's still I still count it as a wound, right?
It
Even
is
if it's
still a
not
wound, I
serious.
guess.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool. So what if we need medical supplies or something
That's
from these
good.
people?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And they feel like maybe the worst people to need medical supplies from because they're like nihilistic, unhinged. They would be losing their humanity.
Yeah, I think they're a little bit like, we don't have to give you anything, like, is what you would think of their mindset.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't mean that they won't give us anything, though, just because it's a nihilistic place. They might still do it. It's just like,
They
I
might
feel
still
like
do
with,
it.
they might still do it. It's just with nihilism, like, you're just kind of like, why anything, really? Why anything, really? Just do whatever you want. So it just depends on if they feel like it, really.
Okay, I like it. Can I set the scene for us?
Please do,
Mhm.
yeah.
We've set off away from the rest of the caravan, who has mostly agreed that it's not worth the risk to head into this dying city. I think there's a stench that comes off of the god corpse. Not quite the same stench as you would expect from a rotting body, as it is not really a body in the traditional sense, but a sweetness on the air that is unnerving. too sweet, like the air has been drenched in honey, but an unnervingness to it, something that is hard to take. But Ari thinks it's important to get proper medical care. She cannot figure out what's going on with Waite's ever whooping wound that is still just draining down the center of his face, and the memories aren't staying. Um, and for Emmy's just, I think, in pretty bad condition, and Aries worried that the wounds will begin to become infected. We need proper medical care, something she can't do on the road. And so, feeling a little worried that they don't have any defense, she ventures into town, and the streets here are strange. I think there are children left unattended who just stare from alleyways, holding hands, watching as these three strangers pass their streets. The animals, the dogs, run wild. The cats have formed large packs, 40 or 50 at a time, that approach the three strangers and silently watch them as they walk between them. We make our way to a church, a large ivory building that sort of rises up over the cityscape here. Luckily, it's still standing, hasn't been destroyed by the collapse of the god. And Ari knows that in the good times, there used to be a hospital here, a place they would give medical care. She can hear screaming from somewhere inside the building, and she swallows and knocks doom, 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 on the ivory front door.
Doc, don't knock. Do we really have to be here?
You need care.
This is not a good place. Ugh.
I can't let you die on the road. I can't. It's against my code. We need to find you help. Wait, please. Tell her we need help.
Susan? Soraya?
I'm
Soraya.
Emmy. I'm Emmy.
You don't look so good. You're gonna need some assistance. Here, hold on to this, and just wait. And Wait presses into Emmy's hand the little bird that they have. Just hold on to this. It's okay. You're gonna be okay. Where's your mother? Is your mother here?
Wait, Doc, it's okay. I can't do this. Wait. I can't do this, Doc.
I'm sorry. I don't know what I was thinking. Wait, thank you for your gift. It's very kind. Emmy will be okay. Gosh.
Have you seen them? Have you seen my wife?
We're going to find your wife, Wait. But first, we need to get you the proper care, okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I'm working on something that'll help us walk more, faster.
That's good. That's good.
We won't have to move as much.
How about you think about that? I need to find us help, okay? And Ari knocks again on the door. Does one of you want to play perhaps the matron of this nunnery, this nihilistic nunnery?
Sure. And I think the door just kind of like swings slightly open.
Hello? Greetings.
Yes, you can come in.
Ari sort of pushes the door uneasily.
It was open. You didn't need to knock so hard. You knocked it quite ajar, probably. And there's a nun who is half dressed, half undressed, just stretched out, like kind of across a pew that has been moved closer to a fire in kind of a living area, like a recreational area. There's books like everywhere. Things are kind of dirty. You don't know how long this nun's been laying here for, and you don't know the last time anyone picked up anything in this spot, because it is pretty, like, grimy, I think. at this
Doc,
point.
there's crazy as weight in here.
Sister, are you quite well?
Hmm? Yeah, I've been pretty good, honestly. Honestly, I kind of like it better this way, I have to say. I never thought a war like this would lead to me feeling so free, and yet here we are.
I'm
Do you
glad
need
to hear.
something?
Yeah, yes.
Mhm.
I need medical assistance for my two companions here. Uh,
Oh, I
she's been
see.
wounded and we need to treat the wound. I hope you have poultices. I've run out of supplies and we need something more serious for my friend over here. I believe he's been struck by perhaps a curse.
A curse? Oh, that sounds pretty serious. Yeah, you should definitely get that looked at. Well, I'm kind of busy right now, but there are some poultices.
Good. Are you,
Mm,
perhaps I can speak with the sisters who are in charge of care of the
that's me.
patients.
I'm the sister that's in charge of care.
That might be enough for us to do a roll on this.
Sure. Let's roll.
Roll 'em if you got 'em,
I
baby.
can't see how this goes well for us, but let's
I
find
don't know
out.
what you mean. Looks great.
Well, sounds promising. I
Okay.
mean, she didn't say no.
You're right. She's been very
And
helpful.
yet, and yet,
Uh,
So we roll our dice.
yes, we roll our dice. Oh, you're still wandering spellblade. Incorrect.
that's not true.
You are
I'm
a.
Emmy, Bandit turned Lordsworn.
My dice. I'm gonna roll them.
It's
Woo!
tough being the arbiters of your of your outcomes. Uh, let's say.
That's rough.
That's
Amanda,
rough.
worst poker face.
Mm.
We're not sure how much of a secret we really want this to be from each other.
I didn't say what was rough.
Our numbers have been revealed.
I never said that what I rolled was rough. I rolled all right, actually.
Okay, all right.
Not bad.
We've got a middling result here. Wait, Amanda's character has a 4, 1, and a 2. My character, Ari, has a 2, 2, and a 4. And Emmy has a 1, 3, and a 4. So both of our injured characters have at least one big failure, but everyone's got a mix. Oof, okay, what do we think happens here?
It's a toughie.
Okay. Ah. Huh. So,
I mean, there's one way that wounds make sense, which is these people don't seem qualified to care for us
yeah,
at all.
right.
Yeah, I think they just don't care about the cares of the
Yeah, it
issue,
seems that
right?
way.
This might be kind of sloppy.
So we have like a weird situation because like our failures and successes are kind of about do we get care? Well, then wounds are also kind of about do we get care? And then I don't know, morale is like maybe we get care, but we like are like oh my god, the world is so fucked up.
Yeah.
But we
Yeah,
have
I
to have
feel
like
like
some sort of mixed results for everybody. So, um,
I mean, I think ultimately the way I'm seeing this is that it doesn't really work out.
okay,
At least not maybe not for me. Maybe it's just that they don't have what I need, or maybe it's just that we can't find it. Because I feel like this is just a person that just doesn't really care to necessarily help us, but also isn't gonna like stop us either. Like if you guys wanna go through and like find some stuff, if you guys have like a couple questions, maybe I'll help you.
that's
Like,
true.
meh.
I
If
feel
I
like
feel like
we have a better
like there's
chance
not
of
much
helping
point. You'll
Emmy.
probably die anyways. So like, you know, I think the nun would probably base it on like, if I help you, will it actually even do anything, you know?
Right, we're all on the dangerous road. We're all gonna die anyways.
Yeah, like what? I'm gonna fix your wound, and then you go there, and then you like just die immediately. What a waste.
What a waste.
What a
You're playing
waste.
this nun so well right now. I love it.
It's so funny because I was just thinking of it where you guys were like, well, like when you're like the whole idea of it like becoming like almost animal like and like people are just like doing whatever they want. And I was thinking back to I had like a whole nihilistic period in my life where I really just where I really just felt like there isn't really no point to anything. But the beauty of that, because there's kind of two ways you can look at nihilism. It can make you super depressed, but it can also be really freeing because at the same time, if nothing means anything, then it's just kind of like you can just do what you want and there's less pressure on you. So there's a plus and a minus to it.
Yeah. I
I'm
So
can
I'm
hearing
see
you.
it.
trying to play the nun a little bit nuanced where nihilism isn't necessarily bad,
Right.
but it's also not necessarily good. Just is.
So I think for Aerie, I have to take my 4 in wounds because I don't think it makes any sense for her to walk away with a wound here. So I'm gonna take my 4 as a wound, and then that
Yeah,
means
for
I'm gonna
sure.
take a failure and a hit to morale, which feels right for where Aerie's at. She's not gonna get exactly what she wants from this, and she is going to lose faith in the world because of this interaction.
I think I'm going to do the same thing.
So you're not gonna take any more wounds.
No more wounds, but I don't think they have anything that can fix us up, maybe.
Okay,
Is just the thing. Like I think,
things are the way they were.
yeah, or at least, not for weight. I think weight, they're just like kind of beyond like their wound is like, I don't know if the nuns could fix this.
Right.
I don't know who can fix this. I don't know if it's fixable.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Uh,
So, so I think, I mean, I only
Yes.
see this going one way for Emmy.
Ooh.
oh,
What's gonna
yikes.
happen? What's that? That doesn't sound optimistic.
Oh no, Kurt has put a 1 in wounds.
Wounds? You're just
Which
gonna
means
die?
he takes 2 more wounds. How many wounds does everybody have?
I got one.
I got two. Yeah,
How many
yeah.
do we have before we die?
Oh, three.
Oh.
So, but then you also put into success. So, what? They agree to help you, but it just kills you?
I think
Maybe that is their form of help,
that is, I think, yeah, I think they
is to give you a
see,
comfortable passing
yeah, they see how
ish.
bad it is and then administer an herbal concoction. And I think there's a moment between Emmy and the nun where the nun leans in and says, "It's as bad as you feel." And Emmy nods and says, "I was hoping you could do something else for me." So Emmy,
How do you want to look up what the wound is?
sure.
You want to roll for it? Let's see how you go.
Okay, but if it makes no sense, I'm doing it again because I
Yeah,
get
that's
two.
fine.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm just gonna do this privately. Don't look.
Oh, secret.
Oh.
Secret.
Am I not supposed to look at the sheet? What are you doing?
He's
What? No.
no,
You
he's
won't be
just
able to see
rolling over there.
anything.
Oh, don't look at the dice. I can't see.
Don't look at the dice you can't see.
Oh,
Okay,
because
yeah,
Kurt
okay,
needs to
so-
figure out what the options are.
Yeah.
I appropriately perhaps we've got torso, severe, and for life, which makes sense because that's where the wound is, right?
For
So
death? Yep.
I think there's an herb that you can apply to a site of a really serious wound in this world. And I knew even as we approached this place that it grew in this region. I think when Emmy protested going inside, it was because Emmy knew a certain acceptance had to happen. There was a possibility. So, but the thing about it is that it is a salve that gives a lot of comfort, I think. So the wound stops hurting, but there's also that numbing is also poison. And so you pass. Do you think now, I guess the question is whether Emmy discloses that was something that was known or not.
Yeah, I'm curious about that. Because I could see Ari thinking that everything was going well until the last second.
Um, Maybe the last thing, we might leave it unanswered. I think maybe you two can come away with your character's own opinions, but I think for Emmy, we see a moment between Emmy and the nurse and the nun where Emmy pulls out that coin, that first honest coin, slips it to the nun and says, I don't know if you can spend these anymore, but thanks. I came by it honestly.
Well, Emmy is resting. Ari's watching from afar, and she comes up to the nun. Is she going to be okay? Is the medicine working?
She will be resting soon.
Good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And my other friend. Can you help him? Help them.
No. No.
Just no?
No. I mean, no. No.
Do you at least
You
have
can
clean
look
bandages?
We did have clean bandages at one point. Yes. They were somewhere in
Never mind. I'll look.
yeah, if you look and you see anything, you are welcome to it. I'm not really attached to anything here. It's kind of gotten a little out of hand as a result of that, but I mean, the world's basically over anyways, you know? I mean, you can get bandages for your friend, but your friend's in a state. Your friend is still kind of processing, I think, that their daughter is dead. I think they just think that they seem very confused, and I just don't know if anything you do can really help them.
Respectfully, I don't want to speak with you anymore. I'll find the bandages. Thank you for helping my friend.
You're welcome.
I think in the morning, Ari goes to Emmy's bed and touches her face and feels the cold skin. She puts her finger gently on the poultice, still resting on Emmy's chest, and brings it up to sniff. No. No, Emmy. God, no. And she lifts up Emmy's body and staggers down the stairs. And I think calling for Wait. She walks back out down the street and away from this place.
Do you get Wait, or does Wait stay there?
I am calling for Wait. Does Wait come? I'd like Wait to come. That would be very important to
I
Ari.
think Wait comes after you. I think Wait has been working on the invention, and they kind of come out like half on that, like not really sure of their emotional state. They seem sad, but also like really happy at the same time. Kind of just flip-flopping between those two.
Wait, Emmy's dead.
Who?
Emmy.
Emmy.
Here in my arms, Emmy, our comrade, our friend, our fellow Lordsworn. She's dead.
How did she die?
The nun killed her.
There was a nun? Oh,
Wait.
just now.
Yes.
My daughter was killed by a nun. I made this invention so you can move faster now. Look, try it. And Wait puts it down and encourages you with Emmy's body to step on it. Or you could put Emmy on it and Emmy could go. You could try it with Emmy. Go, step on.
Wait, I don't have time
Try
for your
it.
games.
No, try it. It's really, really great.
Wait! Please. Come back to your senses. I don't have time for your silliness anymore.
Will you please just try it?
We're all going mad. You don't have the luxury to give in. Come on. Then Ari walks on.
Wait grabs the device and puts it in their coat and rumbles as they walk.
Nice. All right, that's week 2.
Week
we
2,
lost Emmy.
Rip.
I'm sorry, Kurt.
I feel like had to happen that way, but I'm just gonna click the last button here. Oop.
I did like what Atomic said about the idea of it also being kind of making sense, though, because it is true. Like, once people get wounded, it's a little bit harder to use them in the narrative. Not going to be as clearly as efficient necessarily, or as effective potentially. It's hard because you can't. Can you heal people's wounds in this game? You can't really heal wounds, can you?
Not within the time frame that we're playing, because we're on a journey home. We're moving. We're going. There's not.
Like, is there a mechanic in the game to do that, or is it just not really a thing that happens?
There's not a mechanic in the game to do that.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I was just providing a thematic reason why they
Yes, as to why that makes sense. Yeah, no, it does make sense that we become wounded, and it's kind of like, even if you find someone that can help you, it's like probably nothing is going to stick.
Not right now.
Because you don't really have time to rest
journey,
and heal.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going.
All right.
Oh my gosh. That top one for the event says looters, and I thought it said lobsters.
Lobsters. Heck yeah. I hope our entity is lobsters. Gosh, these are some suspicious lobsters that are scavenging.
That's right. We all met one.
All right, so now we toss.
Yeah, we also have a new character to play. I've already selected my new character, which is the Creed Guard. I'm playing my characters in perfect order, I think, every time. No, not quite.
I'm going to wait until I select the thing.
Yeah, let's do our roll for Desperate
I'll see who it is.
Week 3.
Although I did peek at the card, but I don't remember which one it is, so.
I rolled a 2.
2 as well.
Oh, shit. Wait, did we resolve the event? Like, what did we come away with there?
There was an event?
Oh, I think we forgot this both times.
Oh, the event. Oh,
no,
yeah.
last time nothing happened because it was a success.
Did we also do our morale? Because I think I lost morale for us. Did we adjust that?
So weirdly, so no morale up from Emmy, but yes, success for the event for Emmy's purposes.
Okay, I had morale down for Wait.
Okay. And I had morale down as well. So we lose 2 morale.
Okay, so we lose 2 morale. And then failure for the event.
And then 2 failures for the event.
2 failures for the event?
2 failures, yeah.
2 failures, 1 success.
I was the only one who chose success for the event. Okay.
Yeah,
well, that was really suboptimal, I guess, after all.
I was not thinking about the strategy at all. I'm so sorry.
I was just thinking about if it worked for my character.
As you should. I think that makes sense. We're not min-maxing here. If we were min-maxing, this would be a very silly game to play.
Let's min-max Lordsworn.
I think that does mean somebody has to roll a d4, though, and see if something also
crazy happens. Okay.
Wait. How does this work? So we take 2 failures, which means what? We get -2 morale and there's 1 wound to each Lordsworn?
No, so it's Actually, shit, how does it work? Hold on, let me just make sure I get this right.
I think
Closing
event
action.
failure, we roll the
Or
die
we
and then we
roll
see
on
what
it.
it is.
Okay,
Okay,
okay. So if we
that's what
have
I
more
thought.
failures
Yeah.
than successes, it's
I
a
don't
failure.
know because I haven't read the rules, but I'm just going based on the sheet that you made, Kurt, and the fact that it's like we were like we have to roll to see what happens with that, and then I was like it just says event failure table 1 through 4, so I'm assuming it's just we roll a d4.
I'm like 90% sure that you're right. So,
I feel like
yeah,
it feels intuitive with this game, like the systems are built well. So
that is encouraging.
yeah, so I think that makes sense. Do you guys want me to roll for it?
Yeah.
Yes, you do roll for it. I have confirmed. Thumbs up.
Okay, I got a 2. So 1 wound to each Lordsworn in the spotlight.
God damn
Now,
it.
what does that mean in the spotlight? That
That
means the
means
people
both
that were
of
in that event,
you.
that
Yeah.
story. Okay. So we take a wound.
Yeah, and you can narratively that can work however you want it to, but yes, you do both take a
Cool,
wound.
cool.
Rough.
Not ideal.
Someone say bad, actually.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
say that
I would say bad.
this wound for Aerie is like heartbreak. Uh, I think this is too much. To lose Emmy, to feel this callousness of those that are left, to fail in her job as a medic. I think she is struck spiritually in a way that is unrecoverable.
Makes sense. Makes
I
sense.
think that it is, well, I rolled and I'm going to make it a head wound that's bad, but it's barely noticeable.
Yeah, nice.
And I'm going to say that,
Another head wound.
yeah, well, I don't think it's a physical head wound. I think it's just that it's not noticeable to other people, maybe, but I do think that Wait is living in a totally different time period in his mind, in their mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
Okay. So back to okay, we're now on to week 3. We've caught up on week 2. Week 3 we all rolled our dice for event 1, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I got a 4.
I got a 2.
Right. I got a 2 as well. Haven't picked anything yet.
Ooh. There's some fun entities on 2. I want one of you to choose one of them.
I want God Mourners.
Yeah, God Mourners!
I want to say I'm going to pick an adjective this time. I think they're afflicted god mourners. That gives us a
Oh,
lot of flexibility. What does it mean? Maybe they're experiencing an after effect.
Ooh, I love
We
that.
have a, I don't know if y'all remember, but we have a god mark.
Ah, yes, we haven't used it much.
I
No.
was going to use it in the scene before. That was the thing that I was going to add with Delilah.
Oh, that would have been good. Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry I interrupted you, Amanda.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I was just like, if you guys feel like it's good, then I don't need to add anything. I had an idea, but I was like, I don't really need to do it. But if you want the context, I'll just say it retroactively. Delilah went up to the group and they didn't want like they didn't really want anything to do with Delilah, but Delilah was like, it's fine, like I totally get it. And just kind of silently as she was walking past them, kind of like clocked into that ability that we've gotten from being close to our God and sort of focused it on people that were not carrying as much so that they could just kind of relax a little bit as they were moving. And there was almost a quiet, not a conversation that was struck up or anything, but Delilah felt a quiet sort of acceptance as time passed, as she started to walk past the group. And I think that gave her a little bit of hope that there's still some good in this world, something that you can do. Just because you don't have a god doesn't mean that what they represent doesn't still live somewhat within you.
Nice.
Cool.
So there you go,
Cool.
retroactively.
Nice. Okay, I'm going to make these god mourners who are afflicted also resisting. Perhaps resisting their affliction. I'm not quite sure what that means, but we can fill it in.
Ooh.
What god are they mourning? I was just looking at the list of gods that we chose from originally.
Oh, right. Yeah, because there is a big old list, isn't there?
Yeah. Kurt, if I
Yeah.
click on other things in this
Although
spreadsheet, is it
I
gonna?
don't think anything's directly connected to the god stuff. Other than there is, well, I guess there's arch. Those should stay. Those should
we
stay. Yeah, yeah. I think you're good.
Will all of our
could
details that we
also
chose
make
for the
one
god?
up. To make a god up. Any
It's
god
true.
you
There were
want.
many gods. Sorry, I hid all the details in an elaborate secret spreadsheet fail.
What
Just a
about
couple to think about. Oviana the Veiled,
okay.
Nestix the Quiet, Is the Fair. All interesting.
I like Is the Fair.
Hmm.
What do you think?
Perhaps the god mourners of Is the Fair, now that they've lost their god of beauty, have become heinously ugly in a
Ooh.
way that like
Maybe.
hurts to peer upon them.
Maybe it's not that they're ugly. Maybe it's just that they've lost the ability to see any beauty in the world.
So everything to them is ugly.
Yeah, including themselves, everything around them.
Interesting. Okay. Oh, so we come across the group of the most beautiful people we've ever seen, and they are in hysterics because they have become
mad self-esteem issues now.
such ugly trolls. Yes.
Yeah. Because I just think about what would be like the worst thing ever that could happen. And like beauty's always so interesting too, because beauty really is something that you see in things.
How would we
So
say that they are resisting perhaps this affliction? What are they doing in response to having all the beauty of the world sucked out?
Maybe there's elaborate preening that's happening.
Yeah.
Like,
I think it's over preening to the point that like they either look ridiculous or it is like dangerous.
Yeah, I like that. I don't know exactly what that means specifically, but I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, who's here? Which of our characters?
Oh, it's a good question. Jack of Hearts.
Jack of Hearts.
You know, Jack of Hearts, my character.
That's Bry. Oh boy.
Ooh.
I don't think this is gonna go well for Bry.
The Bard seems like a fun person to bring.
Seems like a fun person to have in this area, but I'm also like, how much is this gonna mess up Bry? Well, I guess we'll find out.
Find out.
I got the 9 of Hearts, which is... What are you, 9 of Hearts?
What is the 9 of Hearts? The 9 of Hearts
are
is
you,
the
9 of
Wandering
Hearts?
Spellblade.
There we are. Yeah, okay. So
Sirocco is back.
Sirocco is back.
And I have Valakaya, the Creed Guard.
Cool.
Okay. Does anybody want to start a scene? Perhaps describe the first of these god mourners we've come across?
I think we crest a hill of sorts, and as we've been going, I think the terrain has been shifting. We're a little bit farther along than we were before, and at this point, there's I want to say that it is warm here. We're in a coastal sort of area, and we can see shimmering off of the water the most beautiful group, the beautiful sunlight streaming down and illuminating a stunning group of people who are all looking into, I think there's a series of reflecting pools that they've set up. And each of them has their own reflecting pool. They're all standing over them, looking down into the pool, and you can see them kind of like pulling at like parts of their face here and there, like applying pigments, adjusting things. Some are picking at themselves, and it's quiet. It's this awkward ritual that it feels like we shouldn't be here to see.
Like you just hear like little sounds of like, like picking. Like just it's a quiet, like almost like pinching or like slight tearing sound, scratching,
Ugh. Yep.
little creepy human sounds.
Creepy human sounds.
I'm trying to think what our three characters might
we do about
want
that?
of these people, or why we might approach.
What
Right.
if I mean the most obvious answer is always going to be like this is the way through. Um I'm
Yeah.
not saying that has to be the answer here, but
I like
can
that. What
imagine
if
there
we just
being
have to step through this area?
yeah, like there could be maybe we had to walk along a sandbar to get across some impassable sort of bay. And now the beach opens up and it's just all of them are in front of us facing this way.
The world sure does get stranger. Bry, have you heard of these folk before?
There were songs that used to be sung of them.
But if these are the followers of Iz, they have been hurt in the calamity.
Well, is no longer. So, yes, I can imagine that would take an effect, just as the loss of our god has taken a toll on us.
We don't pick at our face. We don't stare at ourselves. This is unnerving. Why are we here?
Along the bay is the most straightforward way. Means we don't have to go up the cliffside. I say they seem distracted. What if we step through quietly? Careful not to disturb their pools. Perhaps they are absorbed enough in their own reflections.
I don't like it.
We could try to walk around them. We could try to... Perhaps we could serenade them. I know some of those songs.
I don't see what there is for us to gain in a serenade.
Remind them of their beauty. Remind them of why they were chosen by their god.
Are we not asking for trouble, Bry?
Perhaps. Perhaps. But if we walk past and we're caught anyways, then what do we do?
Perhaps, if needed, you play a song.
Yes.
A distraction.
If needed, yes.
The rest of the party can then slip by.
Yes.
I think Sirocco has the casting rod, which earlier I alluded to being a flute, and I think it's a spell actually that comes out of the casting rod. It's sort of a this isn't a weapon, I'm not armed thing.
Yeah.
And so we're going to see that play again, which is a classic Sirocco move.
So, is playing the flute?
For all intents and purposes,
appears to be.
Seems to be holding a flute.
Okay. So you have your move primed.
Yeah, it's there.
I say we begin then. Quietly now. Do not disturb these harpies. And Valakar steps foot forward, just gently stepping around the first pool, trying not to disturb anyone. I say we roll, eh?
I think you're right.
Let's do it.
I always check the wrong spot first from a dice. From a dice!
For his dice!
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we are distributing our dice for those who are watching. Let me bring you over to where all the action is happening on this spreadsheet over here. as we put in our roles, assign them to each other, the squares go black. Ooh, there is a split second, I think, where you can see it if you pay really close attention.
If you're really paying close attention.
You'll see it for a second.
Were you thinking that too? All right, there we go. Oh, wow, you guys, we were collectively not kind, Valakar.
Oh.
Oh, whoops. I thought I get a 4 this time.
We all had the same idea.
Okay. Well.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's fun. That's interesting. Okay, so we've got a 2-1 and a 2 for Valakar, the Creed Guard. But then 4-3-4 for Bry, our Bold Scald, and Sirocco gets a 3-3 and a 4. Very successful scenes for the two of them.
Whoopsies.
All right. I basically can choose whether I'd like 2 wounds or 1 wound.
I think you can assign the 1 to be event failure because Amanda and I literally can't fail this event now.
Yeah, that's right. So I'm going to give myself 1 wound, 1 failure, and -1 morale.
Well, for reasons that aren't yet clear to me, this cheers me right up.
Maybe you find, a partner.
I mean...
But you have a token from a lover back home.
However, we don't know that I'm a good guy.
True. And you don't know if you're going to make it home.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. I like that little touch. Kurt has chosen his allocations. Amanda, do you need help choosing your allocations?
No,
you don't have a lot to choose, I suppose.
I'm gonna do some things here.
Oh, she's gonna do some things. I believe she's probably gonna get a success and +1 morale, if I were to guess, and 0 wounds.
Yes, that's what I'm gonna do.
Okay, nice. Okay, so you guys both succeed. So the most obvious part of this is that Valakar's plan does not go as planned. We can't just sneak past these people and ignore them. And so we are going to be noticed, and then the two of you both have plans for dealing with this. So I guess the question is, how bad does it go for Valakar? He's leading this little brigade. He's going to get wounded and lose morale. So
I think the fact that you wanted to sneak past is what ends up.
Oh, yeah, because it's like you don't even care about what they look like.
You try to avoid looking at them, and they get really upset. Like, they are like, are you walking past? Did you actively look down?
I must be so hideous. He won't even look at us.
Oh my goodness. We can't have someone reminding us of what's happened.
We can't have somebody seeing our ghastly exteriors. His eyes. Take his eyes.
And they start to attack.
Let's roll on the wound table to see what happens.
Yeah.
I rolled a 1, 1, and a 3. So I'm saying that it is a head wound because it is my eyes. The wound is severe because they have taken one of my eyes. But the healing at least is not so bad. They're like long, sharp nails just like reaching for Valakar's face. And he's like immediately like buried in like a pile of like 3 of them trying to tear out his eyes. But the 2 of you guys have plans, so perhaps you distract them somewhat in this chaos.
I think, yeah.
You have something, Kurt, that you want to say?
Well, yeah, I think so. I have the casting rod at the ready, but I just feel this pang of pity for these people. And I think I slip it into my pocket and I gesture towards my own mask, realizing what's happening here. And I say, "Worshippers of Iz, I have an offering of sorts. And then I gently like remove this mask, which is not unheard of for me, but is rare to see me without it. Maybe when I'm eating. Um, I think it's part of maybe the source of power is drawn from the mask.
Yeah.
Um, and oh, yeah. And I think
Offer
Sirocco
them your
says,
mask.
you may craft your own beauty if you need to. I have done the same. Please wait. We come offering knowledge of craft. You may do this.
Masks. We may cover ourselves. Our atrocity. Yes.
Perhaps we could have some of our former glory. We could craft masks that look like our former selves.
Yes, the faces we lost. Those that
Yes.
Ez gave us. A
Yes.
commemoration of our gifts.
And I think as they start talking about the commemoration, that's when, to appease them, Bry strikes a chord. You can't strike a chord on a lute. Starts pulling out his flute and
A lute is not a flute. Do you have a flute or a lute?
I have a flute, not a lute.
I see.
Okay, sorry. I
Yeah.
thought you said lute for a second.
Oh no, flute.
And I was like,
Wooden
you can't
flute.
strike
Maybe my
a
F wasn't as pronounced.
Yeah, but what if you can strike a chord on your flute? What if you've got one of those like dual
Maybe you're playing
tubed
the
sort
front.
of?
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. Bry strikes a chord on his flute and starts to play the song of one of Iz's most famous followers, who Iz took to bed.
Ooh.
Sexy song.
Ooh, that's good, Amanda.
Mhm.
That's really good.
I like that.
And it's like, yeah, I remember like how loved you were by Iz, and still are, even though Iz is no more.
Nice.
His
So
little
we
sexy
see,
song, and then we
obviously,
slink past them.
I don't know if we even slink past them. I think as soon as that's diffused, the rest of our company,
It's like chill.
well, because like we've demonstrated now, I mean, obviously our poor Creed guard who ran in with a different approach and was not rewarded for it,
Might
but
have some bitter feelings.
right.
But
I
everyone
think
else is like cool to pass,
it's
basically.
well, I don't think we even pass through right
Think
away.
we
I
just
think
hang out with them?
well, it's a place that if they are indeed like if they've accepted this offer to like make masks, I think maybe the company takes a chance to rest here in a place where our numbers are bolstered. And you know what? I'm going to say that the morale bonus for my character, Sirocco, is going to come from passing on a bit of a piece of craft and how that feels like accomplishing something. That feels like doing something that mattered, which is something that it's been hard for him to come by recently.
Yeah, you've given something back.
Yeah.
I
So
think it's also this idea of like community between these two groups that have both lost their gods.
yeah.
And kind of a reminder that we don't have to be like tragic figures, that we can kind of like forge our own path.
I like
That
it.
like almost gives Bry an optimism too, I think, for the power of like art, and that like, you know, war is awful, but is it still useful to sing and write epics about it? Because is it about like inspiring people to be better? Maybe. Is there still something people can learn from it? Considers thumbs that first draft that he's been working on.
Nice. And so I think it is a restful night for most of the company, except for Valakar, who nurses his new wound. He was lucky that Sirocco moved quickly and distracted these creatures, as they only got one of his eyes before they were called off with the promise of a mask. But as everybody else sort of celebrates around the campfire, takes a night off, feels is heartwarming, I think Valakar sits further off, realizing that once he defended a god on a battlefield, and now he can lose a fight to 3 fashionistas dying from starvation on the side of the bay. What does he become? Take my wound. I think we get -1 morale, but +2 morale. So +1
So plus
total. And we succeed, so no failure table, yeah?
So not bad.
Not too bad. Okay.
Wow.
Shall we move on to our next event?
Yes.
I think we shall.
Okay, so this is the second event of week 3. Let us all roll 1 die. And for Amanda and I, our last character is predestined, but for Kurt, he does not have... Wait.
Other way around. I've got one left.
You have one left. Right, you do.
Yeah. You two have to do some choice.
No. It's in fact we all have just one left because you lost.
I understand what happened.
This round.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'm with you now. I'm with you now, baby.
Queen of Spades.
That's your last character?
Of course, yes.
Nice.
I
rolled a 2.
Delilah. Fervent follower. A 2. I rolled a 3.
I rolled a 4.
Okay. I think this is a new table we haven't seen before.
Yeah, Omen. This is our first Omen filled.
Yes,
what a special day.
This event is called Omen Filled.
Oh.
There's things like crow folk and profaned ones on these tables. What did I roll? A 2? Okay. Oh, God. Wow.
I'm going to say we're hunting.
Ooh. Or the entity is hunting.
Something's hunting.
That's the question.
Yeah, someone's hunting.
What have you got again, Anthony?
A 2. Guess what? Guess who's hunting? The hungering
one. That makes sense.
Sounds right.
And now, is this foreboding or heretical? Both are pretty good.
Ooh, those are both great.
Let's say heretical.
Yeah.
That makes it more interesting because it certainly sounds foreboding. But heretical, an interesting twist. And guess who's here? No, what's his name? Qualdre? No, what is his name? I forgot. Dralque.
How do you say it?
Dralque.
And I am, of course, Aryanwin, who it's been the longest since we've seen. That was the first character I played as. Strange sort of avatar.
Yeah. All the way from the first round.
Yes, now let's see if I remember the voice I did 1 week and 3 hours ago.
Okay, so Avatar, Prophet of the Outer Gods, and who's your last character? Amanda? Is it the Fervent Follower?
Delilah.
Okay.
The
Delilah
Fervent Follower.
Dahlia.
Okay.
Good night, Cherry. Bye.
Bye.
Is it possible that Dralque has fucked up here?
Maybe.
The hungering one sounds like the kind of thing that might have been whispering to him for quite a long time.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
And he's been reaching out. He's been trying to make a new connection with his god dead. Has he summoned a creature here? It's quite heretical, I think.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Okay, I'm imagining we're marching along, and I think to bring them self-comfort, we've heard a lot of like Aryanwin just describing the things everyone knows, little mantras about Lotyx. And Lotyx was the shepherd, and Lotyx was the herald, and Lotyx was the guide. Sort of just reciting.
That's good.
We carry the swan as our symbol. We carry the swan, for the swan is a guide. We carry... Something is wrong here. Something is very wrong here. And I think a crack runs along that alabaster marble.
You'll weaken.
Slowly, Aryanwin turns back to face Dralque. What is it that you have done?
Why do you assume I have done something? I do nothing but keep my prayers at night. I try to find us new guidance in a scarred world. And what do you do but remember childhood memories of a long dead thing?
When Aryanwin turns to face someone, the head moves first and then the body. Uh, and I think that unseemly sort of turn happens now as Aryanwin turns to face Delilah. Do you not sense it? Do you not sense it?
No.
And then Drawquay's eyes have set up. And you see a look on his face you've never really seen before. Fear, lack of confidence, unknowing, as he stares into the tops of the trees, the tall black oak forest that's by the side of the road. Like I see in my dreams. And you guys turn, and there is just the edges of a winged creature, four-headed, that disappears from view into the dark forest. Tell me I'm not the only one who saw it.
You vulturous fool. You bringer of carrion. This is no god. And I think we're going to have to roll.
Okay, let's find out what happens.
Yeah.
Rink.
Oh. I gotta reset to the D set.
Oh.
We're all spades today, guys.
That's not quite as unlikely as it seems.
Oh, because there's only two suits.
Yeah.
Right.
Although I can't imagine how much more work it would be to make an entire deck of. It's already an insane amount of content for this game. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. I need to roll and choose your fates.
I have chosen everyone's fates.
Nice little Drawquay player there.
Did something funky happen on Amanda's?
What?
Just because you have 3 filled in, but everyone else has 2. Did you?
Something funky happened. Yeah.
Your top 2, your bottom 2. I set them both to D's, but I thought you were messing with your top one, so I didn't touch it.
No, what? No, I didn't.
Okay, I'm gonna reset your top one. I think that's what happened.
Yeah, I didn't touch that one.
Cool.
Okay, well, you guys set this. Hold on, I'll be right back. I'm just gonna grab a snack.
Sure, you grab that snack and
we'll
grab
a snack. Okay.
Okay.
Well, nobody's gotten that in very good condition. Delilah has a 4, 1 and a 2, but the 4 is good. Kurt gave that to her.
It's true, I did.
Drawquay has a 1, a 3, and a 2. Not great. I'm glad I gave myself a 3. And then, what's his name? Aryanwin?
Aryanwin. It's kind of a mouthful. Okay.
Aryanwin, right. Like, Aryanwin has a 3 and 1 and 2. Okay, so bad for both of them, but really bad for everybody. Okay.
It's pretty bad. Can I just say, I knew that there would possibly be some tragedy going through this, but it's more delicious than I thought it would be. Yeah. I was like, oh, well, there's 3 characters each. Like, probably we won't even get into it so much that it's devastating when something happens. But no, it is still devastating.
And I love how, like, horrific and horror filled. Even if it's in like sort of just slight unsettling ways, it feels like every step of this game has been. It's one of those, I think, like game designs where it's like a gentle touch where like I don't really see it happening. Like I don't see it setting up this like, oh, this is gonna be unsettling, but like all the word choices are perfect such that you just like stumble into it and everything's terrifying all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
You guys talking about how it's kind of like horrific.
That's exactly it. Okay.
Yeah, screaming and defiling as actions.
Screaming and defiling. Yeah, you're right. That really sets you up.
Assaulting.
Do you guys think that Drogquay has failed here because he has asked for something, but it's not what he meant it to be?
Yeah, I feel like there's an argument to be made there.
Okay.
I
feel like
you
I'm gonna
one.
take. Was that Amanda? Sorry.
That was from me. I gave you a 1.
Thank you.
Because it felt thematic.
Oh, Atomic Sorcery says, I imagine all of these scenes as woodcuts. That's cool.
It's cool as hell.
So I'm going to take failures to morale and a failure. But I'm not going to take any wounds. So I guess Drogquay does not get eaten just yet by the hungering one.
Aw. Not yet.
Not yet.
Oh, wait.
That's 2 failures that we've just taken. So I guess...
An event's going to happen.
I might as well choose the worst thing as a failure then, right? Because
we're already losing pretty bad. Nobody's getting wounded, huh? The hungry ones.
I'm thinking there might be a good argument for me to get a wound, though, is the thing. But I feel like I've already put us through the ringer on that. No, it's fine. One wound.
I think you should have a wound.
I think so too. Because I was thinking maybe you and I are the most likely to get like physical damage from this.
Yeah.
You've made your bed. I'll make mine too.
Okay.
My bed has spikes in it, or maybe bed bugs. We'll see how I roll.
Okay, so we've all taken failures. So this is bad.
Don't know what you mean.
Should we roll on the event failure table first, just to see how deliciously bad this is?
Yeah.
Right, let's do it. I am going to roll. Here we go. Ooh, that's a 2.
So we do all get a wound as well.
We all get a wound. Okay. So as much as we try to avoid wounds. Oh, and you didn't even try to avoid a wound. Oh, wait, no. Do you already have a wound?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
No. These are my first 2 wounds.
Okay, great. It's a really good thing you didn't take a wound.
You're still alive.
Damn straight. I mean, my character, if anybody, should be the one getting messed up right now, right? Like, logistically, in terms of who I am.
True.
Do we want to maybe just resolve morale first, because it's so easy to miss it?
Sure.
I'm programming an automatic version, but it won't be done by the end of this stream. I've learned there's simply too many equal signs.
We're gonna lose 2 morale in total, because me and Amanda both have negatives.
Yeah. Okay, so down to 4.
So we're going down to 4, which is not a lot. It's a good thing we didn't roll a 1 on the event failure table. We're going to go down to 2, and that would be real rough.
That would be real rough. There was a 50-50 chance that nothing bad happened. Are those cookies? Nice.
I did eat a cookie.
Nice.
These are the cookies I baked with my mom on stream.
Oh, cute.
Oh.
Okay. Seeing that we all get wounds, is the hungering one, successful in their hunting? Maybe it waits till nightfall?
What, and then it comes and takes a bite out of each of us?
Yeah.
I was kind of picturing it as nightfall is the thing.
Okay.
So was I. When you were looking up, I was like into the darkness.
Okay.
Yeah.
It makes sense if it's dark, yeah.
Okay. I think whatever bad things happen, they happen like pretty immediately after the flapping of the wings.
Okay.
Let's do some rolling.
Like a full... What's that? You gonna roll some
I,
wounds? Oh yeah,
I
let's
want
roll
to
the
see
wounds.
what I got.
All right,
Then
let's all
I'll
roll
tell
some
you what
wounds.
happens.
I imagine this is like a full jump scare. Like it just like pops out of uh, of the forest and just takes the whole group on at once. I literally rolled triple ones.
For your wound?
Yeah, so that means I have a severe head wound for life.
Jeez. What? Triple ones? You crazy.
You crazy.
You crazy. Okay, that's bad.
Mm-hmm. What do I want to do with this? This is not good. Mm-mm.
I have 2 wounds, so bear with me.
Okay, I'm gonna lose an arm.
Oh,
See,
yikes.
that's fun because okay. So here's
Yeah.
I guess there's 2 things that happen to me. Um how do you lose an arm? Oh no. Is it
Well,
eaten?
I think it's eaten. I was thinking the other way that I could do it is I could do uh hurt my head and it could be worse, but it's for life. Or I can do head severe, but I can somehow walk that off.
I love a severe head wound that you can walk off.
Yeah.
Losing an
I
arm
mean,
sounds
I guess I
very
could lose
thematic.
like an ear or like maybe get a scar on my face.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's kind of severe. Getting like a
I
big
mean, I feel
gash.
like both of these are good in different ways.
But I'm just saying, you lose an arm, it's an arm, but you still got one more. I don't know.
Yeah, I say go for it. Arm get eaten makes sense to me.
Yeah, because I keep wanting to pick head because I'm trying to conserve on the other things, but I'm like, I don't want everyone to have a head wound. It's not very
Fair enough.
interesting.
Um,
So I
yeah,
think I feel bad for Delilah, but I think yeah, she's gonna lose an arm.
Okay.
I get a severe arm wound that, quote, I can walk it off. And I think what that looks like is like I pull out the
Mm-hmm.
bow who killed a moon, and I draw it back. And that crack that we saw run along my arm earlier
Yeah.
turns into just a network of spiderweb cracks.
Ooh.
And my hand drops to my side, and the bow sort of flops,
Bye,
the
Joker.
string wobbling in the breeze. Um, so that's me missing my chance. And then I get a severe and extremely painful head wound.
Oh.
So here's actually, I guess, yeah, yeah. So here's what that looks like. Ooh, I think I try to exert so much effort to make the arm move that like marble skin, I picture almost an element of like a marble statue when I see our Aryan when
Yeah.
in my mind. And I think that facade like cracks away, and then we see like raw new flesh exposed to the air. Just like focuses so hard to try to move the arm, nothing's happening, and we see just like that god's visage fall away, and all we're left with is a scared looking human being.
Wow. That's
And
an
part of the
interest.
pain, I think, of that is the shame of that as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what happens to me.
I think there's an interesting mirroring that's happening in that moment. Because while Aryanwyn is desperately trying to fight off this creature as it lunges out of the woods, just all black wings and screaming faces, Dralquay is standing closest to the woods, and he is staring dumbstruck, just all of these things that have happened in his mind suddenly becoming real in a way, not in the way that he wanted. Uh, and the creature lunges right up to his face, so that one of the four heads is like nose to nose with him. And all the heads chant in unison. Dralquay, we come to answer your prayers.
Busted, says Aryanwin.
Oh my goodness.
Obviously not. Obviously not.
Busted.
I wished for my mind, my life to be yours. Good. We'll take what's ours. And the opening, the mouth of this face opens up and just begins to suck. And the flesh on Dralquay's face is just like pulled away. And as the godlike visage of Aryanwin falls away, so does the flesh of Dralquay's face, taken to his god. And he is left, his skin torn off, bleeding, disfigured, crumpled to the ground. And with this, I think, sacrifice, it's enough that the creature maybe takes off after, taking an arm here and there.
I was thinking of it more like Delilah is the one that is like if we camped in this area. That like we saw this spooky stuff and then we're like, okay, well we have to rest. So we're just gonna have to deal with this. And that Delilah maybe was like on guard first and fell asleep and then
attacked in the night.
Munch on the arm and then wakes up and is like, oh my god. And then that's, where we're at.
But your god is dead.
Yeah.
Oh my who?
So, don't remind me, says Delilah. So,
okay.
So yeah, so I think Delilah was like the first one attacked that alerted everyone. Then we get into this and then.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Because I feel like your face being taken off is like, that's the climax for sure of this instance.
Some would say not a good scene. I mean, good scene.
Great scene,
but also
not a great scene for characters.
Gosh, I love that just counts as one wound, having my face torn off.
I like that you're still alive after that, after having your face sucked off. Can you live without a face? I don't want to look it up because I don't want to know.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bless that pathway for you.
Good choice. Good choice.
I don't want to know. But I think probably you could.
Chat, don't answer.
Don't
no Googling, no answer.
We don't need to know.
Google it. We don't need to know. I don't want to know, but yeah. Okay.
That's it, huh?
Yeah, that's it.
Are we off to week 4?
I mean, it can't get worse than that, can it?
Well, we'll see, won't we?
Wait a minute. The world cries out in agony. Well, that doesn't sound very good.
I mean, could be better.
I like that the apocalyptic events have not even been filled in.
None you meet will give you anything but a blade in the gut or inhuman howls.
That is the heading of week 4. Okay, it is time to introduce our first event. We roll first, huh?
Yeah, we roll first.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
I'm rolling so good right now. Got a 1.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, the apocalypse. Where are you, Apocalypse? Let me check what's going on with this Apocalypse. I also got a 4.
Apocalypse? Nah. They were like, nah, you know what?
This was a lot for you.
No Apocalypse. We're skipping it this time.
Are you, did you also get a 4, Amanda?
I got a 1.
You got a 1. Okay, so 2 1s and a 4.
Some would say 1s are different than 4.
I'm going to go familiar.
Okay. crow folk? Do we want crow folk?
Sure. Yeah, crow folk. Familiar crow folk. Doesn't sound so bad.
Well, that
I'm like,
does
hey,
leave the
wait, I
adjective.
recognize that guy.
Okay, but unfortunately, it leaves the actions defiling or screaming. So,
I know that guy.
our familiar
The guy-
crowfolk are
He's
fucked.
defiling that other guy. I know that guy too. So familiar.
Oh, they're both. I feel like a crow person would scream though. Like crows, all they do is caw.
Yeah, it's true.
Don't
They
tell the
love
crows I
screaming.
said that. They will be so mad.
They're gonna call it crazy. Proving
Yeah,
your point.
How dare you
Proving my
say that
point.
about me?
I have 2 remaining Lordsworns. So who's coming for a little bit of fun?
Yeah, let me roll to find out here. Okay. Wow. Dralquay is back right away.
Dralquay. Oh yeah, I guess I had to shuffle. Let's see.
And so is Arianwin.
Oh, okay.
My goodness. And so is Delilah with her one arm.
Okay.
Same group.
That's fun.
But now versus screaming crow, as if they didn't have enough going on, these poor people. They gotta deal with this now.
This could be like immediately in the
Endgame.
days that felt like this could still be the hungering one because we saw
Ooh.
those wings, right?
Mm-hmm.
Be the remaining fallout from.
Could be the hungering one is also the crow folk. Is that what you're saying? Could be.
Well, we saw
that's-
those wings, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah. We established.
But
are
It's
these?
true.
yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say maybe these are like other followers, and this is what like a portents of what is to come for Dralquay if Dralquay doesn't pivot here.
Oh, like Dralquay will become the crow folk.
The screaming crows.
And maybe that's why it's familiar.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
we
Oh
just
God,
saw,
they're people
like,
that we used
Papa
to
Crow.
know who've been turned into.
Well,
No, I was thinking
they
like
could be. That's
I
also
mean, if-
horrifying.
also horrifying. Also horrifying.
Oh, you were
I
thinking.
was thinking like because what Kurt was saying was like we just saw a thing and then it kind of reminds us of that and then they're followers of the entity that we just saw.
Okay, so the crowfolk are followers, or we're saying the crowfolk is the hungering one.
I was saying followers as Dralquay is.
Okay.
Yeah, so like this is what you become when you follow the hungering one. You become crowfolk.
Okay, and they're familiar in the sense
But
that.
I also like the idea that maybe we knew them because
Yeah,
if
alternate.
you could become it, maybe there is someone that one of us at least recognizes or that all of us do, depending on.
Alternate pitch. We passed through this town on our
And
way
don't
here.
talk to any crowfolk.
And it was a lovely town. They gave us care. They fed us a place to sleep. And the hungering one has been waiting here for us. And in the meantime has corrupted the bodies of the people that have been left behind. And so we see all the people who were cared for us on our way here, but they are now all turned into black screaming birds.
That's horrifying. Yeah, I like it. Turn them into screaming birds, I say.
I just can't spell the word apocalyptic is what happened. It's not spelled apocalyptic.
Sorry, I feel like I have something in my eye. But I don't. I just rubbed it. Apocalyptic.
Yeah. Now
Look
it's
at that
spelled.
apocalypse.
Me when I'm writing spreadsheets. Like, what if that was an apocalyptic?
What if it was apocalyptic?
Apocalyptic.
Time roller, hello.
Whoops.
Did he say BBQ wings? The hungering? Yeah, the hungering one. Time roller, if you would like, we have a recap command. If you would like a little update to what we did in our last session, as this is a two-parter. So there's a little synopsis of how we got to where we are.
And I'm sure you'll have no other questions.
If you have any
Everything
other
else will
questions,
be
let us know.
intuitive.
We are on our 4th week, so this is our final week
Yes.
of our journey.
Now we have set us a scene.
People have died.
Always true.
Fair enough.
Set us a scene.
Dralquay is covered in bandages now. His entire face, one massive bandage just the eyes peeking through. And he's speaking to Aryenwyn as they make their way down the road. Feels like the sun hasn't risen for such a long time. We've been left alone now for 3 days. Perhaps the sacrifice that I made is enough to keep the hungering one from us. I think I have paid my dues.
You cannot call it a sacrifice if we all suffered. But fine. Perhaps you have paid your dues. And yet, I can't sense anything. And that's more emotion than you've heard from Aryenwyn the whole time you've known Aryenwyn.
The Shadowed Valley is up around the bend. They gave us care on our way here. There'll be a safe refuge.
Yes, I hope. But as we crest over that hill, you don't even have to see it. You hear it first.
Screaming.
And I think maybe just all three of us look towards each other. And I think maybe Aryenwyn turns to Delilah, says, "What did you hear? What did you hear on the night before it came?"
I was asleep. And yet I thought I heard, though it could have been a dream, 3 clear notes rising as if from the very ground beneath me was humming.
Humming is not screaming. Do you not hear this? Is this my sense?
We see a farmer working in the field just beyond. Their body quivers and flinches and flexes. 2 large black wings. And as the body convulses, involuntarily, squawks ring out over the landscape.
This is your accursed false god. Speak.
I wish I could say it was not, but in the past days, I do not keep my bandages for the wound, but he reaches up and pulls the bandage away from his face, and you see a spluttering of black feathers arising from the scarred flesh. And where his nose used to be, black, hardened beak is forming, pressing out from the ruined face. It is the corruption. It's been here.
Aryenwyn does something that you rarely see Aryenwyn do, which is asks for guidance. And so Aryenwyn turns, I think, to Delilah, who is not responsible for this at the very least, says, "What should we do?"
We should kill them all.
Surely we have not the numbers to kill them all.
This is no way for them to live. We cannot simply leave them like this.
I have a better idea. I am already lost. The corruption is set in. I will give myself. At least form a distraction. Send myself to the heart of their town. Surely the hungering one will find me there. You should flee. Now. Not through this way, not through this valley. Find the long way around. I hope I can buy you time.
Price too great.
What will happen to you, and where will all of you go?
We will suffer. What else is there to do?
Atone. If you die, you will die with this in your breast.
Is that better than to live the hell I created for the rest of the time I stand on this plane? How do I pay for my sins, Arianwen? What's better?
Draw your sword. Delilah is right. Okay.
Delilah's winding up that flail.
Okay.
I don't actually know what is carried by our prophet of the outer gods.
Oh, I have crow feather daggers.
Close enough. Okay, we got some rolling to do.
Here we go. Ooh.
This is gonna be crazy. I can already tell.
I don't know what you mean.
We're gonna fight all these pro folk. That's crazy. Oh, maybe it's not so crazy. We'll see.
We are placing our numbers. Let me bring you over for the grand reveal.
It's so, and one of us, I think maybe two of us chose something for Amanda in the middle.
Oh.
Who was the other one? Who was the other middle Amanda?
I chose the middle.
You chose the middle?
For me.
Okay, well, you'll have to tell us what that was. Okay, yep.
I'll have to tell you what it was.
We're good. No, we're good. Okay, good. All right. We got ones and we got fours.
We've got almost only ones and fours. Can I clarify? Sorry, was Arianwen's intention that we are all going to fight the Crowfolk, or was Arianwen's intention that he was going to fight Drawquay where they stood?
No, fight together against the Crowfolk, I think was the idea.
All of us have, all of us except for, no, Sirocco. Does Sirocco have any wounds?
Sirocco has no wounds.
All of us have wounds except for Sirocco. All of our party. That's a crazy.
That's a crazy.
That's a crazy. Okay. So I guess I can't take a 1 in wounds without dying for real.
I mean, we could both die.
I mean, we could all die.
We could all die.
We could all die, but have a significant morale boost from having something to believe in.
Yeah.
Honestly, I personally think, although there's more story that I want to explore with Delilah, I think this is how Delilah's going out. Because I think at this point, she's kind of found her way back to her beliefs just through realizing that, like, you don't need a god to believe in something. Like, you can just believe in something because you believe in it, and that you give it power. Like, we don't need gods to define who we are. We define who we are.
Okay, I like it.
So I think she's gonna do it because it's just something that she believes in.
She has a code now.
She's a code, and she wants to, in sort of in honor of what she got from Lotyx, to honor that is to take out these people as a mercy to them. These crow folk.
We will all pass in this, not our company, but our current set of Lordsworns. So I think we should probably start by rolling on the event failure table, because we do also fail the event.
Yeah.
What that means, we don't yet know.
It might take away all of our morale boost we were trying to win. So
I succeed.
It cannot. Yeah, I'm sorry. You have I think we see some cool badass moves from Delilah, some one-armed, like
But we
absolute.
still something bad will happen.
Yes,
Yeah.
Should I roll on the event table?
I would like it if you did.
Here we go. It's a 2.
That's ideal, I would
Okay.
say. Other than nothing happening, that's ideal because that means we get like super dead.
We get another wound, each of us, so we get
But it would suck if we lost the morale that we just
so many
like, we're like,
wounds.
ugh.
Yeah, so we're actually going up by like 3 morale,
3
which
morale.
feels
Wow.
cuckoo bananas. But what we have to remember is that while these are our spotlight Lordsworn, these aren't our only Lordsworn, and even the Lordsworn that we're also playing aren't necessarily our only Lordsworn. We have a company.
Mm.
There are other people.
There are others, and we are carrying their torch. So we all charge into battle, and 3 prominent figures in this company pass.
Should we see those moments? Each of those
We
moments
definitely
in turn?
should. I'm gonna do a little roll and
You wanna roll
see.
for wounds?
Mhm.
Okay, let's roll for wounds and see if we get some instructions about what has happened.
Oof.
Okay. Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I've got a thing figured out over here. It's pretty climactic, though. I'll just say it. So I don't know if you guys want to go first.
I think we've all got big punches that
I
we're
mean,
throwing,
I can go
right?
first.
I mean,
just draw
I
twice.
think we should end it on your character because
Yeah.
if there's something that you want to add, but I think I'll say that. I mean, Kurt, you actually drew your sword. So is there somewhere that you wanted to go from there, or are we just kind of jumping to now we're in the heat of it?
I
How do we want to
think
tell this?
so. We see, yeah, you haven't seen Aryanwen wield a blade before. It's always been the bow.
Right.
But with that arm damaged, cracks running through it and along it, so weakened, Aryanwen pulls out a blade. And a curious thing happens as the battle begins and rages in the city. Maybe it's a trick of the light. Maybe it's something on the wind, but Aryanwen doesn't look like some avatar for Lotyx. Aryanwen doesn't look like some otherworldly force. The person that you're most reminded of as Aryanwen charges through, sword in hand, is Dimitry. You can see purple and silver shining in the clothing on Aryanwen's back. You can see movements just like a swan. And it's strange how small a blow it is when they are felled. A little sliced the leg. But perhaps to be mortal is to feel things more acutely. Perhaps to be mortal is to be vulnerable. And the last thing you'd think seeing Aryanwen fall is that they were just a man after all.
Dang. Rest in peace. I think Delilah.
Do you want to end on Delilah because she has a heroic story, and maybe that's a better way to end?
Oh, I mean, sure, if you want.
Yeah. Mine's gonna be a
You kind
bummer.
of teased us there, Anthony. You were like,
You
"Oh,
said you
I've
had
got a big
moment.
thing."
I
I just
save it for
decided, no, you don't know.
Okay.
Man,
all right.
Drop
ahead.
sucks, you know?
I mean, he made some choices in life. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I think Drogquay, he is hesitant at first to join the fighting as it begins, because we are killing these creatures that he will become, if they deserve death, to free them from their suffering. Then what about him? But he owes something to Aryan Wynn, to Delilah, to the company. And so he fights. And he fights his way to the center of this town. And there, as twilight falls, seated atop their church to Lotyx, is the giant winged beast. With its 5 heads now on top its shoulders. Hungering one, fight me! And it takes off from the roof of the church and lands in the center of the square. Almost nose to nose again, with the new beak that's forming on his face. And the 5th head, right in the center now, is the one staring at him. Staring at him with his own face. Thank you for your sacrifice. You have become God, like you always wished. And Dralquay draws back the crow feathered daggers and tries to strike at the heart of this creature. And just like that, it takes the air, dodging away from his blade. We are not so weak. Why do you fight with such weak human hands? Your transformation must be complete. And it descends again, its claws grasping both of Dralquay's shoulders and ripping them from his body. We must make room for your wings. And the creature takes to the air as Dralquay falls to his knees and then down onto his chest. And at the very least, the silhouette of the creature takes off. Distant, far away, and this place is spared as Dralquay bleeds out into the square. Yeah.
Yeah. Damn.
Okay, Delilah.
Okay. So you defeated the hungering one?
Just scared him off.
Okay. So I think with the hungering one gone, Delilah's not able to take the fight to the hungering one because the hungering one retreated.
You can come back if you want.
No. I like that. But what Delilah is able to do is for the other people that have become crow folk, she is able to get rid of all the crow folk in this area. And she just becomes like a woman on a holy mission. The pendant that she carries with her that was given to her by another member of the company who she loved once and who she still loves, if she's being honest with herself. She puts it on. She goes into battle. She's whipping that flail around. And she manages to take out every crowfolk that she comes across. Her body is exhausted. She also is not used to fighting with only one arm, because this is still pretty recent. So although she was a fearless warrior in battle and a devoted follower who would never normally feel tired, even as she extends out this ability to make all the crow folk kind of relax, to make her job easier, she still can't quite get out unscathed. And as a result of her just not necessarily being to where she is and not having her God there with her, she falters somewhat. She takes a severe hit to the torso. I think one of the crow folk basically flies into her and buries their beak right into her chest. And as she writhes in pain, blood spurts out and blood spittle. It's all over the place. But she manages to even take that crow and just in one of her hands crush its throat. She says, "Sleep now. We should all sleep now. There's nowhere to go. No Lotyx to receive us. Weirdly, it feels like this is the most true rest I've had since I left home." And she falls back, and as she... Ooh, yeah, let's do that. As she falls back, she falls back onto what area are we in? We're in this town. I think she just basically falls back onto like a broken bit of something, and in her back she also gets a pretty bad like scratch up. It's not great.
Just a scratch
And
up?
yeah, it would be if she wasn't so badly wounded in the front of her chest, she probably would have been able to get up with it.
What if she
And
just
oddly,
gets skewered right through it?
kind of skewered right through a little bit. But it's also, I think, not so bad in the sense that she's just like so ready to accept death at that point. And it makes her passing quicker. So.
And that's the Battle of Shadow Valley.
It is. That was a crazy battle, man.
And this takes us to our last event. An apocalyptic one, as we are still in the game. We have 7 morale. And 5 of the original 9 left.
Which is not great.
But hey.
Hey. Hey, at least some people are still alive.
That's what I'm always saying.
Could be worse.
It couldn't be much worse. The things that have happened to these people are horrifying.
It is the Jack of Spades. That means we're ending with weight, which I kind of really like.
Yeah, that feels right in a sense.
Started with weight, end with weight.
And of course,
I don't think it's going to go well for weight, though. Weight's not doing so hot.
Well, we can't let too many people die, can we? Then we won't get a good ending.
Who's your last character?
What are the endings based on? Our morale?
Well, the main question is, did we make it to the end?
Oh, yeah, I guess let's find out if we make it through this event.
Who's my last character? My last character is my 9 of Hearts, which is my wandering spellblade, Sirocco.
Oh, I love that.
I'm playing Aerie, the Scarred Medic, in this final scene.
Ooh, that's
nice.
Cool combos.
Man, we've been in a lot of scenes together.
Right?
Wait and Aerie are always in scenes
Wait
together.
and Aerie are always together.
I guess I'm Wait's caretaker.
I guess so.
But maybe you've bonded as well over the past while in a strange sort of way. Stories out of order, tales that don't quite make sense, and yet there's a glimmer of something there.
Maybe we were always together even before this. Maybe Wait and Ari were like, I mean, they both fix things.
They both fix things.
Different ways.
Ooh, that's good. That's good.
They both fix things.
Okay, well, whatever entity we encounter, it's looking rough.
Looking
The
bleak.
list of entities, guys, is like the Sunless Ones, Wretched Brigands, Marauding Warband, Fungal Walkers, the Many-Eyed One.
Um,
It's not good. I
So I
rolled a
rolled a
4.
4. Anthony, I think one of us has to pick Wailing Spirits, right? Because what did we do?
Ooh. Yeah.
What did we cause?
Wailing spirits, that is what has happened when Lotyx has fallen. The spirits have wandered across this realm. So we must encounter them now. I love that.
And we know where they came from, too.
I'm gonna
Yes.
say in that case, are they are they ambushing us or would you like them to be confused? That's kind of what I'm between. I have a 1.
Confused is kind of cool because
This is kind of cool
they've
because it's
come
like they
back
might not
from the
remember what's going
Underworld.
on.
So I'd be confused too.
It's like, what are we doing here?
And I'm going to go with watching
Okay.
as the verb because I think,
They're confused and they're watching.
yeah, just a lost band of deathless folk post-death.
So I feel like in terms of a physical threat, they don't sound that bad. But in terms of like an existential or philosophical threat, pretty deadly.
Yeah, exactly.
This could emotionally destroy us. So we'll see how that goes. But I mean, I don't know. Spirits also are supernatural, so maybe they're pretty tough potentially physically. We don't know.
Is it is it bad if we are so close to home that we've come to the salt flats?
I think we just have to cross the salt flats now.
And the salt flats are just thick
With
with the
this
wandering
fog
spirits.
of spirits.
Yeah. I
Wow, that's
suppose the
quite a
salt flats is the only place
visual.
they can see themselves, which is
Yeah.
interesting. If
Do
they
you think
peer
that's
into the
what's
water.
confusing them is the fact that they can see themselves, but they're not like here. And they know that they're not here, but they can see that they exist. But they kind of know that they don't exist. So it's like a conflict of like, what's happening to me? What happened to me? Who am I?
Yeah. Is the problem that they have been separated from their identity for so long and being forced back into an existence of some sort when you've become so relaxed? Your spiritual connection to yourself, your identity, your formfulness has become so relaxed over the eons. This is like a crude, terrible awakening.
I think it's confusing and painful because it's like this idea of being put back into an identity that you no longer associate with and remembering all of the things that were attached to that, but then also questioning whether or not that's who you are or whether or not that's just something that
Oh,
you were or did.
wait. The salt flats, when we peer into it, we see our spirits. But when spirits peer into it, they see themselves when they were alive.
Ooh,
That's good.
that's great.
That's what they're watching.
That's why they're watching. Mm. A march towards the necropolis. That's correct, Atomic Sorcery. Also, what a place for them to be. So fitting.
Oh, oh,
Oh,
sorcery. Does Emmy try and rejoin the procession?
I mean, technically, all of them could be here. All the people that we've lost.
Whoa. Whoa. I read that, but I did not. I didn't register who Emmy was, and that did not strike me. Okay. Okay. Uh. Okay. We
What's
have
our
to have this
plan
scene.
here?
Well,
What are we?
maybe we just see our trio at first speaking, and just see where they talk themselves to.
Okay.
We are so close to home.
I think I can see the tops of the trees if you stare quiet. If you stare really closely, I can see the necropolis from here.
Don't look so close.
I think Wait is adjusting their goggles.
Wait, dear. Home is near.
Oh, I can see. That's the necropolis. That's right. Huh.
You're
I don't remember it being quite so foggy here.
the fog is thick.
But I can see even through that fog. Not very long. We could probably be there in a couple hours, if that. Maybe even sooner.
Without
Yes.
Lotyx, this fog feels like an omen, though. I feel an unsettling. I can't place it.
I've seen fog on the salt flats before. A couple mornings when I was young. But in truth, never this bad. Perhaps Lotyx energy kept it away.
Bear
Wait,
with me.
what's that?
Bear with me. And I think that casting wand, there's a gesture that Sirocco makes, which is so subtle that you could miss it. Just a little twist. It almost makes you wonder how many times he's cast things before. Too subtle to be seen. But this one, he needs you to see. Just a little flick of the wrist. And fog parts. And startlingly nearby, you see spirits.
They're all around us.
So I feared.
They seem agitated. Sirocco.
Perhaps as confused as we. Wait, why do you not startle?
Hmm. Strange. I just feel as though I'm in the company of friends.
And as you say that, it becomes clear that the nearest spirit, yeah, is Emmy. Looking confused, lost.
Emmy! Dear, Emmy! Can you hear me?
Uh, she does turn to look at you.
I'm sorry, Emmy. I'm sorry I failed you. I'm sorry I let that nun take you from me. I trusted her, and I should never have trusted her. Please forgive me.
And all you hear back is, Emmy. I think we need to see how this goes for us.
All right.
What are we trying to do? I guess we're just trying to cross.
So,
Just trying to
yes,
cross?
but if it goes well enough, I imagine like we want to connect with these spirits, right?
I mean,
I
I think that would be, yeah, the best is if we were
that's
able to cross and get closure. That's like
yeah,
would be really good.
yeah. So that's what I'm seeing
I like it.
That's
happening
like best
from
case scenario.
like that's what area I think wants, which is why I paused it because I think there's a clear best case scenario.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, I think I mean,
We
I don't know
die.
what the
That's what
dead
I
will
think.
do. Yeah.
Or we lose our minds.
Something.
Something awful.
Okay. I don't want to do it, but I'm going to do it.
Here goes. Oof. Shoot. Okay, the numbers are being entered, folks.
I rolled really, really badly. Really badly.
Oh.
Did you roll a 2 on 1?
I rolled a 2 1s and a 2.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, sure did.
Oof.
Well, either way, I'm gonna have to do a failure.
Oh gosh, Wade has a bad set.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, a real bad set. Can Wait live through this? Hold on, I have to check what our
Yes.
lose conditions are again because I don't yet know.
I believe I could still live through it.
Wait, but don't you have 2 wounds?
That's what I'm asking.
I thought I only had 1 wound.
I don't know.
You have 2 marked on the sheet.
Oh, what was my second? Oh, yeah.
Right from the
I
nun.
was living in a different time period. That's what's happened to me. My time is all
So
messed up.
Wait's not gonna make it.
Yeah. But I
Okay.
kind of figured that Wait might be this might be the end for Wait.
I don't know what you're thinking, Amanda,
I
but
gave what?
I just started having this feeling that has Wade been dead for a while?
Maybe.
Because he can't remember anything.
Maybe that's why the wound wasn't closing.
Yeah, and then he said that he was among friends, and I thought maybe that's what you were thinking. I was like, oh, does he know that he's also a wandering spirit?
I wasn't thinking that, but I think that kind of fits. I like that idea. I was thinking I just rolled like 2 3s and a 2, and I gave myself the worst one because I just didn't see Wait making it.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought Wait might be the one to go. But I also felt like it could be Wait's time. And if you can just make it across, we all make it across. I mean, if we succeed, right? The whole party gets
Right,
across.
Mm-hmm.
We're just the people in the spotlight.
right.
So even if we all die, we still make it. But I don't even think we have to die.
We
All of
don't.
us.
We
No.
don't. No. I think so. Here's my proposal.
Okay.
Anthony, you and I have a success happen.
Okay.
So the event succeeds. And then like our morale will be sufficient. I won't die from the wounds that I'll incur because I don't have any right now.
So I will die if I take the 1 as
Then
wounds.
don't. It can be morale.
Yeah, I could do that.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's going to cost us a bit of morale, but that kind of makes sense as
Yeah,
well thematically.
I think.
Oh, I rolled really well for that wound.
Huh. Interesting. I guess I mean I should roll my wins as well, but yeah.
Okay, so we both succeed, Amanda fails, and we both survive it, even if we take quite a morale hit across every. But we make it.
Yeah.
Okay, I was like thinking, I was like, oh, I think maybe I want to have a morale win here because maybe success looks like connecting to Emmy before I go, but I'm taking morale hit. So whatever happens here, I don't think we have successes, but I don't think it's a happy ending.
We could, if you wanted, gamble. You could take 3 as morale and see what we roll on event failure. I could also take 3 as morale and we can just see what happens.
I can't help you with morale at all. I'm sorry. It's going to be a -1 for me.
There is
Either
the
way.
chance that we lose it all if we do that. And is that more exciting?
It's kind of more exciting, isn't it? Okay.
Okay.
So I'm gonna take 4 actually as morale for +1 morale.
Mm-hmm.
+1, but then I have -1, so we actually don't change.
Okay.
Yeah. Like on the whole, we don't change, but that doesn't mean that it invalidates anyone's particular experience if they want to interpret it some way.
Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, I'm thinking about it as a particular airy win.
Yeah, like in terms of how you interpret it for your character is totally different. But I'm just saying in terms of our overall morale standing, that will not
Sure,
shift.
sure. Which is fascinating in and of itself. Um, okay. So there's a big question, right? Which is, what's the event outcome?
Are you gonna roll for it?
Yeah. Although doesn't this mean that we get the failure ending no matter what because we didn't make it home?
And no, we have to have at least three Lordsworn left. So if we all die, I believe that because there's five of us right now, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So if wait, is Drolquay alive?
No, sorry.
No,
No,
he's
okay.
dead.
Drolquay is dead.
He died. Rest in peace.
Bry lives yet, correct? I'm doing a tally.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bry's alive. Bry's totally fine. Really.
Bry,
Yep.
Wait, Valakire, Airy,
I think Bry just got a
Scarborough.
cool scar. I think that's all Bry had.
Okay. Okay, cool. So there are five of
Oh
us
no,
left.
Bry just got knocked out once. That's it.
Yeah. Okay. So what that means, yeah. So there are five of us. That means if weight passes, one more of us could afford to pass, and that would still be not a loss condition.
I guess we're actually safe.
No. No, we're not,
No, we're not.
because
Because now we're gonna have to roll for failure.
No,
we're
but
rolling.
we only take one wound each. We both have enough.
I'm taking 2 wounds.
Oh.
You said you have 2 already, right?
I only have one.
Oh, you have 1. Okay, so we are okay? Question mark?
Well, are you taking any, you're not taking any wounds, so you could have to take 1 wound, so you would still be alive. So the only thing is that, yeah, I guess Kurt, you might not make it. Is that what you're saying?
Okay. Yeah, and I guess we'll see what that looks like.
Yeah.
I'll roll it. It should be me.
So then if we don't succeed here, it's just these characters didn't succeed here, basically. Not the rest of our party.
Yeah, and I don't know how the epilogue table pans out based
Okay,
on our
well, I guess we'll
circumstances,
see.
so we'll find out for that too.
We'll see, we'll see.
I rolled
Yeah,
a 1, and that's a -2 to morale, but we do
Okay.
live.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I just thought you had said if we don't make it through the final one, then we like don't. Like I thought that's not what you said. You said we'll see if we make it back. And so I thought it's all riding on like if we make it through.
There were 2 counters, morale and having enough Lordsworns left.
Okay, so those are the main things we're looking at. Okay, cool. Got it.
I'm just rolling my other wound.
Okay.
I can even pick up my dang dice.
How those dang dice doing?
Oh, I already rolled. Shoot. Sorry. I'd already give me just a second. Okay. Yeah, I'm good. We can do the thing. What do we think this looks like? Anthony, I know you had ideas on the front of connection.
Yeah, I just thought maybe there's a chance for Ari to speak to Emmy, at least.
Yeah.
Do we want to just pick up right there?
Yeah.
Ari had just finished begging for Emmy's forgiveness for what Ari thinks is her fault that Emmy passed.
That was my name.
Yes. Emmy, do you remember? Do you remember me?
Ari.
We went to the nunnery together and I tried to get you help. I didn't want you to end up this way.
Stop, she says, and there's a breeze across the salt lake that just makes you pause. I chose this. I chose this at the nunnery, and I also chose this by being born. All beginnings have endings, Ari. Or at least they used to. I don't really understand it anymore. But you have nothing to apologize for.
You chose this. You acted as a pure healer of Lotyx. When someone's time has come, it is not the healer's duty to keep them alive, but to see them to the other side. And so you did.
But the other side is not clear to me anymore, Ari. These people know themselves no more than I did.
I'm sorry. There is no home for you now. Not after Lotyx fell.
Home. Ari, are the records safe? And then, like, there's a surprising, like, force on your shoulder. Are the records safe at home?
The
records of their the records of passing.
Oh, I hope. Why, Emmy? Why?
If you can tell them. And Emmy gestures broadly at the many figures. Now that the fog has swirled away, the many figures on this salt lake. If you can tell them who they are, then they will understand what they could be. They don't know. They can't know. But with a name, I think with a name they could.
We must remind them. Provide the peace that Lotyx can't anymore. Okay,
It is
Emmy.
confusing. I know that now. Wait.
Yes.
Why do you put on airs? You know what we are.
Wait, what is she talking about?
And I think Wait just kind of smiles to themselves. Oh. Oh, yes, It's like a fog lifts off Wait's mind. And you see their eyes, for once, almost as clear. I think the clearest you've ever seen them. And in the distance, Wait waves to someone. I'm sorry, but I must go. It is time for me to be reunited.
Your daughter?
Yes,
Wait. Go to her.
I will. I just feel so tired. I don't know where I am. And Wait's eyes start to glass over again.
You.
Wait, realizing that they are no longer alive, has moved into now fully being a spirit and has lost as well their sense of self and is struggling to find solid ground. And the wound that they suffer is in their legs. But it could be worse, and they will be able to walk it off once they can accept who they are, as they are now processing everything as the other spirits are.
A strange thing has happened over the course of this conversation. That fog is now blown off, but it's not just that. Through that little grain of wind, a great exhale is starting to push across the salt lake. Salt's stinging your eyes and cheeks, and Sirocco is shaking you on the shoulder. Blackwell, we can't stay here. We can't stay here. The great exhale comes.
Okay, Sirocco, just give me one moment. One moment. Wait. And I try to grasp Waite's hands.
You go through Waite's hands.
Don't be a fool, Sirocco.
I have to do this. The first of many. You are Waite Murtaugh. You invented the walking machine. You loved your daughter. When days would get quiet and breeze would run through the grasses, you would note how the bees flicked from flower to flower. You would always tell me I looked beautiful in the mornings, even when it wasn't true. You're kind-hearted. You're sweet. You're a brilliant inventor. Waite Murtaugh. I'll tell you as many times as it takes.
Thank you. And Waite starts to walk towards their daughter, but as they go to leave, they turn back. And although they are no longer solid, the final invention that they made to speed you along is real still. And they pass it to you. Just
Thank you.
make sure you try it and watch when you downshift on it. And then Waite turns and goes towards their daughter.
Now the wind is blowing mercilessly, and you can feel it pushing you back.
I'm sorry, Sirocco, but we can go. This will help us. You strap it to your
now
legs.
or never. It's now or never, Blackwell.
Okay.
And as we march across the Salt Lake, every step is more difficult than the last. You can see that Sirocco is getting battered by little pieces of salt as they crash into us, as they sting his arms. And we also see, I think, right now that keepsake is on a pendant around Sirocco's neck, and safe travels. That thing is burning a brand into Sirocco's chest. Every step closer to home, it's getting hotter, until finally, right at the edge of the Salt Lake, you take one step off that shallow, shallow water, and it all stops. So our epilogue. We made it home. So first we have to find out what category we're going to be getting an epilogue from. Can I ask someone to roll a d4?
Go for it, Amanda.
One.
The healing. It will take time, but your world will return to some semblance of normalcy.
Oh.
Scars will always remain, but bones will heal, bruises will fade, and gods will once again rise to shape the world. So, I'm going to check if we roll or answer these questions. We can choose a roll. Okay, and that's what I would have chosen for the record of the 4.
Cool.
So let's answer the following questions.
Okay.
While the dark sets in, you know that against all logic, the morning will come. During your troubled journey, how has your home held out against the coming night? Do we think it is troubled, difficult, surviving, or thriving? And there's some flavor text with that, but I'll just leave it there.
Um, like I think it's I think it's difficult. Like I think it's completely overrun with the dead. Um, and like to be living in Oamwood is a novelty, a strangeness. It's a bustling city with only 1% of its inhabitants still alive.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. And it matches our little description, which is the accumulation of losses sits heavy on the brows of commoners and rulers alike. Your home has seen much erased, yet has retained its spirit. It will
Uh,
bounce back. We have none will deny that you, as
it's
Lordsworns,
retained its spirit, all right.
that's right. None will deny that you, as Lordsworns, have suffered the most, broken, battered, and bruised, just like the world. But it is how you heal from that trauma that determines who you are. What is your role in this time of grieving? Do we think we are a footnote of history, a small part, notable sorts, or new exemplars?
Well, I'm fascinated by Emmy's final call uh, for someone to manually basically fill the role of Lotyx. If there can be no underworld, perhaps the role of the people here in the Oamwood, the Lordsworn, are to make an afterlife, uh, a quiet resting place for the dead.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. We are the ferryman.
I think we still kind of only become like notable though, because I feel that a lot of the times with myths, they become myths, right? They become these stories. So I think it's like a story that people tell. But I think the necropolis becomes a place that people cannot necessarily go. Like you only go there now when you die.
Yeah.
It becomes a city of the undead, and it is forever, I think, hidden in a sort of spirit fog. So to go there to find that place is to die.
Mm-hmm.
Anywhere else, our names would be forgotten, but in Ohmwood, names are not.
Mhm.
And finally, the bonds of survival run deep, but so does the pain of trauma. As the world around you slowly knits itself back together, how interconnected are the lives of surviving company members? Distant memories, reunions, company reforged, or family?
So our living
Mm-hmm.
members of Lordsworn, at least the notable ones that we have been playing, are Eri, Sirocco, Valkyr,
Bry.
and Bry. Okay. None of those characters had a particularly close
Bond.
connection.
No.
Mm-hmm.
I think they still like kind of work with each other, but I don't think that they are like, as close as blood or anything like that. I think that the fact that they all lost so much also kind of makes it painful for them to see one another because it's also a reminder of all the people that are no longer there.
That's sounding like reunions. I'll read you out the text and you tell me if it feels right.
Yeah.
You mark your calendars and meet every year on the day you returned home. Each year feels lighter as it becomes easier to remember the hardships and easier to still speak of and cry for those you lost.
Yeah.
Maybe a ritual,
Yeah. To remember the fallen.
the exhale, I think, every year.
Yeah. I feel like of those four, um, Bry, a storyteller, seems like a perfect person to recount the tales of the dead. Eri, a healer and always a guide, seems devoted to taking care of the dead. We have Valkyr, a defender, perhaps guarding the boundaries of the salt flats and the dead who call it home. And Sirocco, I think Perhaps he crafts masks for the spirits to wear. Um,
Perhaps he helps to preserve like some of the sort of the boundary between the spirits and the living realm, because now they're kind of very close to each other.
Neat.
So maybe he kind of guards like the sort of boundary between those things. As I imagine that would be based in something more magical.
Yeah, sword
Yeah.
blade seems like a nice sort of.
That makes sense.
Kind of make sure people don't like wander out too far.
Mask element makes sense too. Maybe to protect the dead from the start of seeing themselves in those waters.
That's cute.
It seems like maybe they work together in some way. You know, they're all
Yeah.
perhaps separately, but they're all major players in the work that happens here in the Elmwood.
I think we like split up to handle different elements of what needs to be done, which is why we also don't see each other as often, but we all do still convene when it's needed.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. And that is our game, folks. That's the end of our story.
Wow.
Wowzers.
That was so cool.
That was like a whole thing that we did. I can't believe that we made 9 characters and just played with them and made them all pop.
It's actually kind of unreal how much ground was covered in like 2 sessions. Miniest mini campaign.
Yeah,
miniest mini campaign.
It felt like a real epic, you know?
Yeah.
We had a lot of different chapters.
I mean, imagine if you did this a little longer and you were able to like add in like just a little bit more of like the small moments.
Yeah, for sure.
In there with some of those big, because it's really good at those bigger kind of broad, and like not just big in the sense of action, like big in the sense of like big questions that we ask ourselves afterwards, big revelations.
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Yeah. So I feel like that would be really cool if you did it as a campaign.
She said the thing, guys. She said the thing. She said we should play it as a campaign.
If you did it as a campaign.
That's how you know you're watching Lies You'll Enjoy. Amanda wants it to be a campaign. Kurt, do you have anything nice to say about the designer? I have some nice things to say about the designer.
Strangely enough, we've never met in spite of being within surely a few meters of each other just a couple months ago, because the book was there. Says it all. Anyway, no, just I'm thrilled that we played through this. It's got so many interesting things going on. I don't think I've ever played a Caltrip core game before, actually, which is the like D4 Caltrip core, the little D4s.
There's a lot of the structure of the game with the like dice rolling tables come with that.
Truly no idea. I'm sure the dice do, but beyond that, I actually am deeply uninformed on it. I do know that there's a meme going around that every indie tabletop role-playing game is a Wanderhome or and I forget what the other one is, maybe Morkborg, which is like a weird, brutal, maximalist, minimalist at the same time RPG. And Marin was like, believe it or not, Lordsworn's a Wanderhome, which was fun. I liked it. That's right. I'm reading the skeets. It's what we call tweets on Blue Sky. No one says that. No one has said that.
At least
anyway, that was great. Amanda, do you have anything you want to plug?
I'll be streaming on Thursday. I have a poll on my Patreon. So if you're part of the Patreon, you can vote on what I'm playing this Thursday. It's either going to be Marvel Rivals or Assassin's Creed. Everyone can vote that's part of the Patreon. So if you're part of the Patreon, you can vote as long as you're a member. Any tier. And so I'll be doing that. That'll probably be around 6 o'clock on Thursday. I'm gonna have videos going up. I probably have a video going up right now talking about Last
your new
of Us.
video's up.
My new video's up. There you go. You're watching it now, Otto. Yeah, that's my Last of Us video. So that's up. I'm gonna have some.
No, this one's your newest video, actually. Think
Well,
about
It's
it.
happening right now.
it's happening right now, but
We're
on
still
my
making it.
channel. And then I'll have some. I have a Daredevil Born Again video that'll also be going up, and some shorts. So keep an eye out for that. Yeah, other than that, you know, check out my stuff. Check me out. I'm on Patreon. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Twitch. I'm on OF. I'm everywhere. Everywhere, mostly. Everywhere.
How about you, Kurt? You got any things to share with folks?
Gosh, I don't think so right now. I think that's it for me this week.
Wow.
Folks, I'll just say I don't know if we're going to be back next week or not. We haven't talked about Easter. But whether it's
Yeah,
next week
Easter.
or afterwards, we are going to be playing a game called Butterfly Court about about nobility in Butterfly Court.
Oh,
And it will
this
be more
sounds
of a
amazing.
courtly intrigue game, not like a dying and fighting and barely making it home game.
I like courtly intrigue. That sounds fun.
Should be fun.
That sounds great. Wow.
Yeah.
I love that we're finding out about this, Amanda and I, at the same time as the rest of you.
As chat, we're
And this
like,
is the earliest we've ever known the game we're going to play next week, so this is great.
So definitely join us for Butterfly Court because that sounds amazing.
Otto's cracking me up in the chat, saying that Jesus would like to play a game with us.
Jesus would like to play. He'll
he's
be out
always
of the
invited.
Cape by Monday. Yeah, Jesus is always welcome.
Okay, well, I think that is everything. Thank you for joining us for this special two-parter over these 2 weeks for Lordsworn. That was a great game. Had a blast.
Yeah.
And maybe not next week, as we are all off doing various Easter things. We will let you know, but certainly the week after. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for all the lovely suggestions, comments, and chat. Some of you were really killing it over there, and thank you for all the love and compassion that also was shown in the chat this week. We didn't get, we can't really participate in it very much because it derails things, but it means a lot to me to see people supporting each other well alongside us doing this thing. So thank you for all of that.
Do you guys want to raid in to another RPG stream?
Oh, right, we did say we might
forgot
do
about this.
that. Let's see who's doing things around.
Anybody got suggestions for us?
I mean, there's people playing Oathsworn, which just sounds similar to Lordsworn, but I don't know what it is. There's some people playing Vampire the Masquerade, I think. What are these people playing? The Hornet's Nest, The Last Excelsior, episode 24, The Hornet's Nest, part 2.
Someone's doing RPG design.
Ooh, that could be cool.
There's some people playing Lordsworn. They look like nerds.
What a bunch of
Yeah.
nerds.
Yeah,
are
we're
these
actually near
people.
the top of we're like number 2 right now on tabletop RPGs.
Flex.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I'm assuming that's because I follow us. Let's be real.
Oh yeah,
No,
we're not number 2. We're in the second row, but it's good.
we're in the second row. I see us as second.
Okay.
Online.
I've always seen
I don't know.
myself as second. Okay. I don't know. Well, what's your vibe? I haven't heard of any of these games, or if I have, I've never played them. So
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what these games are.
What the games are. I feel like maybe we should put our game, even though it's not going to be necessarily something that people are looking for, as a tag when we do it. Because that way it makes it easier for people to know like what you're playing. Like we do have ours in the title, so. But maybe we put like after it, like whatever the title is, and then just like TTRPG, so that people know like that's the name of our game. Because that is confusing, isn't it? Especially for tabletop RPGs. It's like, but which one is it? I mean, I know these people. Oh, maybe they're not playing Vampire the Masquerade because now their tag is gone. But they did say Vampire the Masquerade before, I swear.
I feel like Perils and Princesses sounds fun.
That sounds fun. Yeah, we can do that.
Cool. Let's do it.
This art is gorgeous.
Do I have to do it, Amanda?
You can I can try to do it. Nat Tens, that's the name of the stream. Let me see if it works as a mod. Do I have permission? No, I don't think I can do raids.
Okay.
You're gonna have to do it.
Oh,
will
wait,
do
did
it.
we get a right? We got a, I don't want to pivot last second, but
Mm.
Wanderer's Haven is Good People is a pretty good little plug. They are playing D&D, which I have no comment about professionally.
Yeah, we can raid in there, Lumix, if you suggest. So what you do is, Anthony, just in the
Yeah.
Twitch chat, you put /raid
Nice.
and then just space and then type their name.
Baby's first raid.
Yeah. And then it'll
I
send
think
us.
I got that right. Wanderer's Haven. All right. Well,
All right.
thank you all for joining us. We're going to give this a try. Go on over there. Send them love.
Those of you that are watching on YouTube, you can't go because it's a Twitch thing.
Oh,
but
yeah. But you can search up twitch.tv/Wanderer's Haven if you want to. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for joining us. See you again soon.
All right. And then you press it and then it'll send people eventually.
Nice.
And then also we could say, I don't know what we want to call lies you'll enjoy raid. Yes. But I feel like putting lies raid is like a little intimidating, right?
Is it?
Well, I don't know. We
Yeah.
need to figure out what we're calling our raids when we send people. Like, what do we call our raiders?
Yeah, nice. I like it.
Liars?
Raids you'll enjoy.
Raids you'll
lies.
enjoy is pretty fun.
Raids you'll
Auto,
enjoy.
I don't know if it gets any better than that.
Nice. Okay, I have to click the raid now button. I haven't done that. Ready? Should we do it?
Yeah, it's time.
All right, here we go. Raids you'll enjoy.
Copy it, paste it.
And for the record, YouTube presumably still has us online.
Ah, yes.
Oh, it didn't copy and paste. Yeah. We have still done the stream.
Should I end the stream now?
I think that would make sense.
Okay, bye guys.
Thanks for joining us, YouTube.
Bye, everyone.